of the worst movie podcast ever recorded. And today, we're taking off for an asteroid. It's headed straight for Earth. We gotta prevent Armageddon. Let's go.
Hey, James, that
was like
11 words. Sorry, like
well,
21 words. Like maybe just bad movies rules here, and we love it.
And we love it.
Yeah.
Sure. That's
definitely still not
still
5
8
words.
words. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
I
all right.
had to count though with my fingers real quick.
Yeah.
Well, when I say that line, when we actually put the video together, I have to cut every second and a half to a different camera.
Yes.
Just to keep in line with Michael Bay's
Yes.
editing style.
His furious
That's right.
editing style.
Oh, it's got to happen so fast that it's almost indiscernible what's happening.
Almost.
But not.
Almost
Yes.
is the operative word.
Right.
Yes, because there are definitely movies that are cut faster for no reason that
Yes.
are indiscernible.
Yes.
Yes.
This one flirts with the line.
It does.
Of it's so what did Roger Ebert called it the first 2-hour trailer.
He called it a lot of things.
2-hour trailer. Well, the actual trailer from the 90s was horrible.
Yeah. Well, and I remember this came out around the same time as Deep Impact. And so there was some confusion, like, wait, which world-destroying movie are we going to go see?
Oh, dude, the summer of '98.
Yeah.
That's right.
You can't even. Deep Impact, Armageddon, Godzilla,
That's right.
friggin', what else? Truman Show.
That's not like the other ones.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of felt like it put me into stress for sure.
Well, I want to say thanks to everybody for coming in. We've got the lovely Steph Farrell here. Thunder Steph, what's up?
Hello. I'm so excited.
We've only been talking about it for over a year.
Long time.
So
Long
here
time.
we are.
I'm ready.
The
Let's
day
go.
has come. Her better half, Ryan Farrell, over here as well, the Human Movie Database. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's such a welcome to be here today.
You were here on the 150th. So
I was.
back-to-back milestone episodes.
Back to back Ben Affleck milestone movies.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh,
We have
boy.
done that.
Uh-huh.
Louise.
Ben freaking Affleck.
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 And then also joining us, we have Genevieve Hauser. Welcome back to the show.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in.
It's been a minute.
Who has never seen Armageddon? I mean, now you have, because
Well, yeah.
yes, but not
Yeah,
prior.
still haven't.
You've brought it up like so many times.
Right. Well, why don't you come in and do the episode and don't watch the movie?
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be great. So, yeah, and
we'll
thank
get
you all
the-
for being here. For all of you who have joined us for, I can't believe this, guys, 200 episodes.
That's
of Bad Movies
insane.
Rule. It's crazy, right? But yet here we are, and we're going to continue to go. So who knows how high that number is going to crawl?
I mean, how many movies are in the queue now?
Over 1,000.
Like,
So,
there's, yeah. So we used to have like 11 years.
yeah. There's
like-
20-something.
It's like
Now-
jumped
now
from
we're up
5
to
years,
about-
Yeah.
11 years,
Another 20 years
25 years.
Yeah, exactly.
People keep making bad movies, so it'll be
We're
never
just going to be
ending.
sitting here with our
Yeah.
teeth falling out. Oh, this movie was terrible.
Oh my gosh, do you think so? Can we just keep going long enough to be the old people version of when I was a young person, we made crappy movies on purpose and we liked it.
That would be
Okay.
it.
Especially in the 90s. In the 20th century.
They don't make them like they used to, like Roland Emmerich's Godzilla.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you everybody that's been along on this journey with us. We appreciate you. We're going to do our normal thing. We're going to treat this like any other episode other than it's an insanely big, long movie. I want to just warn Ryan Farrell right off the gate.
Shut up.
There's going to be some skipping. That's all I'm saying. There's going to be
That's
some
fine.
skipping. Okay.
That's fine.
Because my God, if we talk about every scene in this movie, we're going to be here for 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know, we should just, as long as we
200
pace
episode,
it,
baby.
Yeah.
Let's
as
go.
long as we just pace the podcast like Michael Bay paced the movie,
Oh, perfect.
We'll be
we'll be
good.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh, then this is going to be.
And it'll be really intense.
Don't listen to this episode on 2 times speed if you normally do that. I know some people do that. Yeah, because we're going to be going fast.
Can you imagine watching Armageddon on even
It
one and a
already
half?
feels like it's on 2
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
speed.
I feel like I would have a seizure.
Right. Don't do that. You will die. That's a dangerous game to
It's a
play.
dangerous game to play.
Okay, don't be messing around.
Take a
with your
shot
guys'
every time there's a
lives.
cut. Oh,
Let's,
we're dead.
Before your shot is over, it's time for the next shot.
Yep.
All right. Let's get some vitals out of the way. We're talking about Armageddon, 1998's big blockbuster, Jerry Bruckheimer produced film, directed by Michael Bay. as we've already said. Written by Jonathan Hensley, somebody we just talked about recently, I think, didn't we?
Yes, Jonathan Hensley of The Punisher.
That's right. He directed The Punisher.
He directed and he wrote The Punisher, yeah.
Also
This
written by
is,
J.J. Abrams and Tony Gilroy. What a crew.
There's
Abrams, right?
so it was also, and then Robert Roy Poole was the original writer, and then Tony Gilroy, J.J. Abrams, they did some versions of it. They had Shane Salerno do version of it.
Yeah.
They had
many versions.
what was his
from
name?
What I read.
Paul Attanasio, who did Donnie Brasco,
Yep.
and he created House. He came in and did uncredited work on the screenplay.
He did
So
a
yeah,
pass on it.
very, very much a written by committee movie.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And acted by committee. I mean, we're not going to go list everybody's name here because it's a humongous cast, but we've got Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Will Patton, Steve Buscemi, Billy Fincher is in this, Owen Wilson, Michael Clark Duncan, Peter Stormare. I mean, it just goes on and on and on
Yeah.
and on.
Quite a list.
Quite a list. Even Judith Hogue from Ninja Turtles is in this movie.
Dude, they're all over.
Right?
Yeah.
April
Oh,
O'Neil.
yeah, because she's
Will
Chick
Patton's-
Chappell's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So-
and
Oh,
Steven
yeah.
Tyler coming in with some Van Halen.
And Steven Tyler making sure he doesn't miss a thing in here, right? It's quite the cast. And the movie apparently was supposed to originally just be focusing on Bruce Willis and Billy Bob Thornton, hence they're the two top, credited actors here. But it wasn't until Titanic hit that they're like, we need a love story in the middle of this movie. And again, on the 19th version of whatever it is, suddenly Ben Affleck's character and Liv Tyler's character come to the forefront. And but apparently, from what Billy Bob says, a lot of his stuff hit the ground at that point.
Which is too bad.
Yeah.
I want to see the 3-hour cut with all
I'm not sure I do.
with all of Dan Truman's deleted scenes. That's what I want.
And all of the romantic subplot cut out?
No.
Okay.
No,
It's
leave it
already
in
basically
there.
cut out. There's
Is it?
not much.
Yeah, they jump pretty quickly. I mean, they literally get engaged out of like.
Oh,
Well, I just feel like they didn't give it enough time to develop.
Fair
so
enough.
like I don't feel like I was ever fully invested in their love story.
You don't really know them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not expect I was the only one that was going to be all in on AJ and Grace.
You're not. I'm all in.
Oh, all right.
All in.
The girls are.
Look,
I mean-
but we are.
AJ and Grace.
Whoa.
I'll take AJ and Grace over Jack and Rose any day.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I based my expectations off of the animal cracker scene.
Okay.
So I've
Yeah.
been disappointed since.
Well, that's
Just
something you have to
kidding.
take up with your husband who's sitting next to you over there. Okay. That's up between y'all.
Why haven't we ever played with animal crackers?
Yeah.
There's no way we haven't.
All righty. Movie currently sits at a 6.7 on IMDb, which is not bad as far as BMR standards. But here's how it qualifies for our show, and people might be shocked to hear this: 43% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's pretty generous.
I knew
too.
it had to be the critics.
You
I
think
knew
so?
it.
Yeah.
Generous.
Yeah.
Oh, you thought it would do worse with critics?
Critics hated this movie.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean,
I remember specifically Ebert putting it on his worst of lists and saying it was
Ebert.
terrible.
Yes,
That's
Ebert had it on like one of his
crazy.
worst of. I don't know if it was worst of the year, worst of the decade.
Yeah.
And he said, I quote, "An assault on the eyes, ears, and common sense."
Yes.
I mean, it's not wrong.
It's
That-
an
that's
assault,
a
but
tr-
in like a good way.
That's what
a
I'm
good
saying.
assault.
Like,
Exactly.
sometimes there's positive assaults.
And
I
you
get
want to
it.
know the cool thing? Back in the day, when I first joined IMDb,
Okay.
Armageddon had like a 5.7.
Really?
Yes.
And so it's grown in popularity.
It has grown by a full point in the last 20 plus years.
I love that.
Isn't that?
And considering, I want to say the last movie we did that was even remotely similar to this was Moonfall, which was
Right.
a recent film. And this looks like it's Schindler's List compared to that movie.
Well,
As ridiculous
I mean-
as the science is. And apparently NASA shows Armageddon during their training
Yes.
to see how many mistakes people can spot.
Yes, yes.
Like for their training astronauts.
That's actually really cool.
Yes.
That's funny.
Okay.
NASA managers, NASA engineers, they all sit down and watch Armageddon. They have to point out everything that is
Wrong.
inaccurate, wrong, all that stuff.
I still feel like it's more accurate than Moonfall.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned Moonfall because this was actually considered one of the most scientifically inaccurate movies until Moonfall came out. And then
Wow.
NASA was like, oh, we got a new one.
New training.
I love it.
God,
Love
we've
it.
been watching Armageddon for 25 years. Yes, now we
Yeah.
can watch Moonfall.
But look at this audience score, 73%. So three quarters of the audience
You know it.
likes this movie.
It was the highest grossing movie of 1998.
Oh yeah, it crushed.
I mean, come on.
It crushed Deep Impact. It crushed Godzilla.
Yep.
And Godzilla,
Really?
they thought was going to be its biggest competition, which is why they put that little stupid scene in the beginning of the dog.
I was
Yes.
reading about that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
It
That they-
crushed Deep Impact.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Boom.
They hired that dog and they trained it specifically to attack Godzilla.
I know.
Nothing
That's the
else.
funniest thing where it was like, it
Come on,
doesn't
little
attack
bitch.
anything else, but it knew to attack a Godzilla dog.
Love that.
You've been
kind of
riding all
incredible.
morning, man. You need to take a dump.
So I think it's time to just get straight into this thing. Before we do that, I just want to say thanks everyone for listening. If you want to reach out to the show, you know how to do it. This show is trash@gmail.com. We are going to be shooting from the hip. We have gotten in trouble the last couple episodes because of some inaccuracies and things we get wrong. But those that don't know, haven't listened to the show that much, know that we don't really do a lot of research before we come in here. I mean, you have it all in your brain because
We also don't really care that much.
But we just kind of roll with it here. So if you've got complaints, please submit them in writing to this show is trash@gmail.com.
Yes.
And then if you'd like to support the show and get some extra bonus content, you can do that at patreon.com/badmoviesrule, where there's all kinds of extra bonus stuff there available to you. But, in the meantime, you don't have to do that right now. You've got a couple hours available at work, in the car, at home, wherever you're at. But before we get into this, though, we got to pay some bills. Here we go.
What do you say, James? Enough with this anomaly horse.
It happened before. It will happen again.
Dude,
The question is, when?
When? World blowing up.
from the get-go,
Yeah.
the tolling of the bells, the
Yes.
and like
Into this.
the deep space, the cut to deep space and the nebula dust and Charlton Heston coming in for some random narration.
Right.
What? I mean, come on.
Get Moses in here. We'll
Yes.
make it feel epic as hell.
Exactly.
Well, and
Ten
it was also like,
Commandments.
it was kind of like, oh, is this going to be like a narrated movie? No, just the beginning so that you understand that the Earth is shattering.
It kind of reminded me of like the opening to like Mission Space at Disney World. Like if I was sitting
kind
there
of.
watching like an introductory to like a ride or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
I
movie
can see
starts
that.
off with the murder of 1 million dinosaurs. That's the beginning
Yes.
of Armageddon.
65 million years ago.
Yeah. And this is the impact of the meteor, I think the next text screen is 65 million years later.
Later.
It is. It is.
When does it become 66 million years later? When does the 66 hit?
Yeah, I think in another 946,000 years.
Okay.
It'd be at the end of the Holocene epoch.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever
Shut
that
up.
means. All right, we see an astronaut. An astronaut bro is fixing a satellite, and Min is panicked about it. I'm like, dude, this is your job. Why are you so nervous to fix a satellite?
Maybe it
on,
wasn't.
man.
Maybe he was a plumber. They just send anyone up there.
Yeah.
We could teach astronauts how to fix satellites, but we should just get the satellite tech and put him in space.
Right.
They just
Hey, you
went
work
and-
for AT&T,
They called
right?
an AT&T
Hey.
guy. We're like, come on up. We need you to fix
We
the
need you to
satellite.
fix
Right.
this.
It's just easier if because I know how to do it, man. I can't teach
There's
somebody
no
else how to
crazy
do it.
spacewalking or crazy astronaut stuff. Just come and fix our satellite.
As he's literally in an EVA.
Oh. Bro gets ripped up by some space rocks
Man,
Yes.
firing through there.
out of nowhere.
Yep. They didn't have like a radar going or anything like that. I don't know.
Came out of left field.
Just
Yeah.
nobody saw it.
They
coming.
must have made it like a 90-degree turn
That's
to
what
just
happened.
get them.
Dude,
Well, they had radars for the meteors. They just, I guess, weren't using them at the time because
The
they used
meteors
them
were coming by. They were
afterwards.
going to miss, and they were
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, look, there's a guy on a satellite," and they just turned and went and got his ass. That's
yes.
what it was.
Yes. And the whole shuttle.
And the whole shuttle get ripped up too.
Freaking
was crazy.
Space
Shuttle
shuttle.
just exploded in space.
Space shuttle Atlantis just exploded in space.
Scrambling jets to go fight the rocks.
Dude, and this is all before.
Right. And
This
like,
is-
they can't go to space.
Get them. Just start circling
Just
the
get
jets.
in there.
And this is all before Billy Bob Thornton's name even appears in the credits.
I know.
And he's the second credit.
So much has happened already.
We get Carl and Carl's slave up in the
Yeah.
observatory, right?
The biggest mystery of this whole movie is, did she get the phone book?
I don't. Well,
Did she ever go get it?
no, because when we see him on the phone with him later, he's back in the trailer or house.
I wonder how long he waited there.
I wonder.
All right, this bitch ain't getting the phone book.
Up in the telescope? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his dinner was waiting for like, what? Did she say 10 hours?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Man.
I want a divorce. Get the damn phone book.
Get my book. Get the book.
Get the book. Get the book. They have a cool dynamic. I'm sure they've been married for a long time.
Yeah, for the 2 scenes that they had.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're scrambling on the ground. The government doesn't know what the hell's going on. Keith David thinks it might be Santa Claus coming down through the atmosphere. I mean, there's all kinds of wild theories being posited, until finally somebody, I think was it actually Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah.
Was like, it's rocks.
a meteor shower, sir.
Yeah, it's rocks.
It's rocks.
So we can't shoot him.
So it's definitely not Santa.
No, not Santa, not the enemy, not somebody firing missiles at
I mean,
us.
we could shoot him. It probably wouldn't.
You could shoot the rocks.
Do much.
More on shooting rocks later.
The thing would be that I'm sure with the meteor shower, this president advisor would be like, well, just engage them with the F-22s.
Right.
Right? Just start shooting missiles at them. We'll be fine.
Independence Day style.
Independence Day style. Exactly.
What's up, dude?
We just saw that movie.
We also have Eddie Griffith. This is where we see Eddie with his dog in New York City.
Yes.
Okay.
Bon Jovi's big time.
Yep. And Pineapple Guy, and they don't get along. This is the dog ends up attacking all his Godzilla stuff.
Man.
Best part of the movie.
This was
Right
the best
there.
part of the whole
Yep.
movie. Was
Yep.
them fighting because he's got his French bulldog eating up Godzillas.
You just like the dog?
No, I thought it was funny. Well, I did just like Richard. His name is Little Richard.
Little
right?
Richard. That's
Yeah.
I couldn't pull it.
Little
Thank
Richard
you.
the dog. Yep.
And they're sitting there having an argument until a meteor looks like it lands up the dog's ass. Okay?
Yes.
Right? Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, it
But
kind of.
the dog is fine.
yeah,
Because we're
Godzillas
like,
aren't
are we
yeah.
starting this movie with dog murder? Okay. Interesting.
the
Interesting
dog's fine.
choice.
Eddie Griffin is fine.
Yes.
Okay, he's blasted through a window, but his feet are hanging out, and he sits up.
Yeah, and Pineapple Dude is like half in the hole, which I don't understand the physics of that because I'm pretty sure he would just have
Go
fallen
all in the hole.
But all
Go
in,
all, yeah.
Yeah, all the way in.
all the way in the hole.
And then Little Richard's just hanging on by like.
And when did his leash get so long? His leash was like 50
And when did
feet
it get
long.
to be
He was like,
300
"Hold on, Little
pounds?
Richard."
Literally.
Right. What'd you say?
When did he get to be 300 pounds? Because he can't even lift that poor
Yeah, why is
tiny
your dog too
little dog.
Your dog's too heavy to pull him
Yeah,
up.
he's just like hanging
Somebody
there.
help Richard. You help Richard.
pull the dog up. The heck, man! Incoming. There's freaking more of these things start flying because
They're all over the place.
They're all over. They're crashing through like 3 skyscrapers. The
But
same.
of course, into New York. I mean,
Into
New
New
York
York.
just
That's
can't,
what I
it
said.
can't catch a
Yeah.
break.
It's pandemonium in the street.
Ah!
Cars flipping, mass hysteria.
And I just
Yeah.
I couldn't help but appreciate the fact that they had to like set all of that up
Yeah.
and just like, okay, we're gonna do an explosion here, an explosion there, an explosion there, an explosion there, and cars flipping everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
just constant.
Crazy.
The coordination of it is pretty awesome.
No, it's impressive.
Yeah.
It is impressive.
And they filmed that entire scene in 4 days.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They had
Wild.
these special rigs where they could like reload these cars like just like that. We're like, all
Spring-loaded.
right, take another take, more cars, throw more cars. All right.
You know what I didn't expect to see, and because it's been a while since I've seen the movie,
Yeah.
is the Twin Towers on fire.
That
Yes,
is one
that was
of
unsettling.
yeah.
I was
That-
like, ooh, too soon.
Yeah.
Even though it was way before.
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, but it's eerily similar so after the meteor shower's over, right? There's that swooping kind of helicopter shot that comes around the World Trade Centers,
And
they're actually destroyed in Armageddon. They're
Yeah.
destroyed in the exact same way that they actually got hit on 9/11.
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
And I thought that was very
I didn't
eerie.
pay that close enough
Yeah.
attention. I just it was a shocking like
Yeah.
It took
Oh,
me
yeah,
aback
no.
for a second. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
'cause it cuts so fast to it, and there it is.
Well, and
They
even
actually edited that shot out when it was still syndicated on like FX and stuff back in the early
that doesn't
2000s.
surprise me.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, even the original shot of New York before the meteors come in,
Right.
and you see the Twin Towers. It's just like eerie. It's just a
Yeah.
weird scene because
It still gets
Yeah.
you.
It still gets you.
Yeah, for sure. This is where we find out that Carl is confirming on the telephone with NASA that he gets to name the asteroid because he's the one that spotted it first.
I want to name it
So
Dottie after my
sweet.
wife.
So sweet.
And she's like, her face lights up for a second. And she's like, really? She's a vicious, life-sucking bitch from which there's no escape.
Seriously.
I love their relationship.
Oh, that's really sweet, Carl.
Goals. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet, Carl. And I know it just cuts to the next scene. It's like, over, done, move on.
Should have got the phone book. I don't know what you
Yeah.
know, that's it.
I told you to get the phone book.
Right? Maybe this thing wouldn't be named Dottie if you had just gotten me the dang phone book. I would have named it after your mother. Right?
Dottie Sr.
Dottie Sr. Oh, man. Well, this is where we get the first briefing of many briefings in this movie. This movie has half briefing scenes, okay, where we get people around a table delivering information. And this is where Billy Bob is talking to Keith David's character, who's like is he
General or
like General,
something?
Secretary
Yeah.
of Defense? I don't know what he's like.
General Kimsey.
The main military guy in this movie.
Yep.
And you can't do much better than Keith David in that kind of part, right? And so they're talking about these little rocks. He's like, oh, it's nothing. They're basketballs and Volkswagens, the size of.
Yeah, no biggie.
Yeah, no big deal. How big is the one that's coming in? And he's like, it's the size of Texas, sir.
Say what you will about the line.
Yeah.
I know this line got torn apart.
Yeah.
But it's the way he shuts the guy down when, he's talking to the president and he's like, how big we talking? And the one scientist, random scientist number 3 stands up. He's like, sir, our best estimate is 6.357 millimeters.
Oh, somebody that hasn't had that much caffeine should go.
Not even, no, that's like, he cuts the dude off. He's saying all the numbers. He's like, it's the size of Texas, Mr. President.
That's
like,
right.
Which is perfect.
Right.
It's friggin'
No, it's
perfect.
perfect.
Mr. President, I know you're kind of stupid, so if you just think about it this way, it's the size of Texas.
Yeah, and
Why not, though?
I actually really like the next part even better, where he's like, what kind of damage are we talking
Yes.
about? He's like, total, sir.
Yeah.
It's a world killer.
Nothing will survive,
Like-
not even bacteria.
Not even bacteria. Like half the world will be destroyed in the heat blast, and the other half will freeze to
Freeze
death
to
in
death,
nuclear
yeah.
winter, right? And he's like, it's just a global killer. That's Billy Bob does some big time work here in this scene. Really, really good. He
Dude,
goes,
every scene. Because he has this. So Billy Bob Thornton as Dan Truman. We never really get to know anything about Dan Truman.
yeah, except
Ever.
for his Forrest Gump.
But you
legs.
still yes,
but that's a random. That's
Yeah.
even like a random 2-minute cutaway that
Right.
more or less Billy Bob was like, "Hey, can we do just like a little bit of character development with me, please?" Because like he has,
I'm going to show my stirrup.
he has it.
Yeah.
He has the thankless job, as we've talked about so many times. There's always the one character who has the thankless job of every single expo dump is on you,
Right.
and that's Billy Bob in this
That's
movie.
Billy Bob for sure.
Yep.
And the guy runs in, he's like, we have 18 days.
Before it hits Earth.
That's right. That's not a lot of time.
And you're like, man, you guys just really messed this up. Like, you just didn't see this coming. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know they technically
Well, their
explain that,
object
but
collision budget only allows them to track about 3% sky. And beg your pardon, sir, but it's a big ass sky.
Yeah, Sky. Then we cut over to an oil drill in the middle of the ocean.
Here we go.
And Harry's hitting golf balls at some Greenpeace protesters out in the boats out there.
Oh, out in the South
I
China
love the
Sea.
tiny patch of grass,
Yes.
one by one. Yeah, I thought that was
That
fun.
he's got on top of that thing. And he ends up busting in on AJ. And so this scene on the oil drill really does a good job of just introducing all the roughnecks, and for the most part,
For the
there's a
most
couple
part.
that we don't really find out more about till later.
Yeah.
But the way we meet AJ is Harry, who is the owner of the company that's doing the oil drilling, busts into his room to find him for some reason. There's a because of something that happened the night before or something, right? Like
yeah, he didn't shut down the number 2 valve.
He never shut down.
and
never
so he
shut down
storms
number
into his
2.
room.
Right.
I guess I don't even know what that thing is.
Whatever
a
your room
cabinet,
Sure.
Quarters. Yeah.
Just quarters.
a tin
Yeah.
can. And he's like, oh, perfect, in bed, get up.
Yeah. He says, I just want to hear 5 words from you, AJ. I'm sorry, it'll never happen again, or something like that.
I'll never
do that again.
That's right.
I'm sorry, it was stupid. It was idiotic. I don't know the name on the sign.
You've worked for me for 5 years,
Yeah.
and you've never apologized this quickly. Something's going on here.
It's too fast,
Find
man.
out what
He
it
said
is.
sorry too fast.
Well,
right?
no, I'm trying to turn
Just wait a
over.
beat.
I'm trying to turn over a leaf, man.
No, but he's too obvious about trying to get Harry out the door of where he is.
And this
right?
is when we get that real quick cutaway to some toes.
That's right.
To some toes under the bed.
Underneath
I
the
love
blanket.
that shot. It is such a good little
That's the Wicked Witch of the East. You know, back under the covers. And then he takes his golf club and fishes a bra off of the seat that's next to him.
Didn't he throw his golf club off the rig?
I thought he had.
He threw his 5-wood off the rig. Now he has a 9-iron.
He's got a 9-iron.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Whatever. Here's the thing. There's only one girl on the rig, right?
Well, he's the only boy her age, also. So.
And so, what did you think was going to happen, Harry? And I know this is kind of like I'm summing up her argument that she gives to him.
I was just gonna say, you sound like Grace.
That's kind of what Grace's argument is. But in reality, though, what did you think is going to happen?
and it's like he's the most mildly attractive one
Yes.
around your age. So
right, because all the other roughnecks are like, nah.
If you had to choose between Ben Affleck and Owen Wilson,
Yeah,
Rockhound.
pretty much. And you're a dead man at this point. He goes to get his gun, and AJ takes
Stay right
off
here. I'll
the
be
other
right
one.
back.
I don't get how he's like shocked though. I mean, if they've been on this boat, like his daughter and AJ, he must have seen some like inkling of them talking
Or something. He has to be a moron.
and he's just like now all of a sudden shocked.
I'm pretty sure he's like knowingly ignorant to it. Like he doesn't want to believe that. You know, it's like no, just I'm
He
gonna
has
be,
to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna just shut my eyes to that.
He absolutely has to be because what she says, we've been dating for 3 months or seeing each other for 5 months.
5 months.
So
Yeah.
come on, dude. It's really Bruce's fault.
Yeah, and
It's
he's
Harry's.
just like, huh?
Should be paying more attention.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is why our relationship is strained, Dad. I mean,
see-
Harry.
This is also him talking, and this is when we get all the character intros
Yeah.
for like Rockhound, Steve Buscemi as Rockhound.
Yeah, because he chases AJ through the whole rig with a shotgun.
Yes.
And I love, so we meet Chick, first of all. Chick is like Harry's right-hand man, played by
Will Patton.
And he is trying to talk Bruce Willis down through the whole, you know.
He's
Is
like,
he the-
"Yeah."
in his
He's like,
in
do you
his
really want to
gentle
kill
way, right?
yeah, do you really want to kill the best guy in your crew?
Yeah.
I love their exchange too for this.
All right, Harry, everything's getting real now, right? Like, I mean, he's like,
Yeah, he's so
calmly-
chill.
he's calm.
He is very calm.
He's like not surprised at all. He's like, I've known this guy a really long time, and this is about on par for him.
Yeah.
No pun intended from the golfing scene.
I love her, Harry. Ben Affleck says.
Way wrong answer.
What do you want him to say? I was only screwing her because she's hot.
Yeah, exactly. She's the only female here. I had to stick it in something.
That's not the right answer.
Yeah, that's the worst
That's a
answer.
much worse answer.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the answer Harry wanted.
Rockhound's like, Harry, you know this is illegal. I'm temporarily insane, Rock.
I love
It's all
that.
right.
I love that line. Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bear tries to block his path for about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Michael
Just trying to
Clark
get my man
Duncan
next door.
Trying
as
to buy
Bear.
him time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to give my man a head start,
It's
man.
he does. Why don't you just put the gun down, boss? You don't want to know this Bear. Get out the way. I just
And he just points it right in his face, too. He's like, you don't want to know this?
Yep.
You know what? You're right. I don't.
That's
Goodbye.
right.
Dude, it is.
It's a giant wrench, man. I don't know.
And a giant man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a giant man and a giant wrench.
For sure.
But to its credit, like you said, now we know Harry Stamper.
Yep.
We know Chick,
Yep.
Bear, AJ, and Rockhound. That's 5
And
out of the
it's done
8.
in such a way that you don't feel like it's just an expo dump
No.
and like a character dump. Like
Yeah.
it's a very believable way to introduce
For sure.
all of them.
And meanwhile, back at NASA, their original ideas are terrible. Okay. 'Cause
They
they're
got-
like,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to put a parachute on this asteroid.
Well,
and see if-
solar
Lindsay,
winds.
like, yeah.
Are there solar winds?
See if the wind will catch
yeah.
this thing and it'll float it away.
Solar winds.
It's moving at what?
22,000 miles an hour.
There's no way.
I'm
No way.
sure that the solar winds will be
All right,
enough.
so what we do is we get the bugs from Clendathu to shoot another asteroid into it and knock it out the other way.
You know,
Right.
that would work.
Okay? We get like a Pong situation going on here. Can we hit it with another rock?
But it would just create a super rock.
They would just bend together.
All right.
That's
I
how
got an
stars are born.
idea. I got an idea. Why don't we hire the space Yakuza to just go put 2 in the asteroid and kill the thing, and then we're good to go.
Even a better idea than the solar winds will be caught by the Mylar sales guy.
also one of the space guys from Apollo 13?
I think so.
I swear to God, it's one
I
of
think
the guys.
there's a couple crossovers actually of Apollo 13 people.
100% felt like that was one of the guys that had to make the carbon dioxide filter for the square.
Oh yeah, square peg and
Is the
square
Mylar
peg and a round
Sale
hole.
guy
Yeah.
from Armageddon?
It could
I
be.
swear to God, it is.
Yep.
I don't know. I didn't do any research. Internet, don't kill me.
Oh, the internet will find out for
Remember,
us.
we don't do research.
Now it cuts back to the oil drill. And this is where we find out that Grace works there and she's about to meet some Japanese clients. And
Translator. Yeah.
she's giving her whole speech to Harry about how you raised me around all these roughnecks. And my favorite part of this scene is her saying, Rockhound had to show me how to use Tampax. And he's like, whoa, I didn't show her.
I told her, Harry.
told her. It's not like I showed her.
I learned the birds and the bees from Freddie Newton's tattoos.
That's right. It's such a great moment because, she totally submarined the guy. He's standing right there, right? And you say that in front of Dad. Not cool.
Not cool.
Not cool at all. Especially this guy just chased someone around with a gun.
I love that she's cutting from the speech to just whatever language she's talking.
Oh yeah,
in.
she's speaking
She's
Japanese.
just cutting from each one, and I thought that was really funny. But
I just love that Harry's clearly unhinged, and
Yes.
you're just gonna say that
Right.
good luck, Rockhound.
buddy.
See ya.
Yeah.
Cuts back to NASA, and now they're talking about Keith David's the president's scientific advisor just thinks if we shoot this thing with a nuke,
Dude.
then we're good to go. And Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaac before Jason Isaacs even got famous. This was his moment.
Yeah.
This was his moment, and he nails it.
He does.
He's like, that'd be really stupid.
Terrible idea.
He's like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust a guy who got a C+ in astrophysics. He's
right.
wrong.
I'm right.
Right.
I'm right. He's like,
Imagine
who
a
the hell?
firecracker.
Because doesn't Keith David first try to shut him up, and he's like, you're going to want to listen to him. He's the smartest guy in the room. Right?
Yeah.
So Billy Bob
smartest
Thornton's-
person on the planet is what he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Ronald Quincy from Research. He's pretty much the smartest man on the planet. You might want to
wanna
listen to him.
Yeah.
We've seen this movie a lot.
And the
couldn't tell.
firecracker.
Yeah, you guys
Imagine a
already
firecracker.
quoted
In the palm of your hand.
The firecracker bit is, I think, very effective.
It is. No, I love it.
Right?
I
Because the nuke, you put
Yes.
a nuke on, you hold it in the palm of your hand, you're going to burn your hand.
burn your hand, right?
Yeah.
You close your fist around the same firecracker.
We have the
you
accent,
set it
too.
off. Your wife's gonna be opening your ketchup bottles for the rest of your life.
Right. Meaning we got to put.
You went a little Statham-y there.
You gotta, you know what I mean? You got to put the firecracker inside. It's got to. Owen Wilson, we need it. Owen Wilson. It's got to go inside the asteroid.
Inside the asteroid.
Well, I love because he the general, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's like, so what you're saying is we need to blow it up from the inside?
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yes.
That is what we're saying.
In,
I have to dumb down all of his ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how do we do that? Well, we drill. Who is your best deep core drilling man?
It's like they just.
Yeah.
It's for
Let me-
sure
let me
Harry
get
Stamper.
out
We
the
all
big-
know that.
The big book of drilling guys. And just page through this giant phone book of, let's see.
You know,
Harry's number one.
Yeah. I mean,
that's like back to the pacing of the movie where it's just like, well, I guess we just drill. I don't know. Hey, wait, that's our idea right there.
It was already 2.5 hours long. They couldn't go through any more scenes of figuring out
no,
that
they didn't.
had to drill.
They didn't need to. I just think
No.
it's funny how it's like
He's just that
like,
famous of a driller
Huh.
that everybody knows him.
I
Right,
feel like
like-
it's supposed to be an aha moment, and it's not.
like, why is NASA familiar with Harry Stamper?
Exactly. Exactly.
Back at the oil drill, the things go crazy, and AJ's hot shotting it and says, "Oh, we can push through this gas pocket or whatever the hell it is down there," and everything goes to hell, and he gets fired. Bruce Willis in front of the clients, who I thought were gonna be pissed, but they're covered in oil.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, struck oil, baby.
Yeah,
Harry number one, right?
Yeah, Harry.
yeah.
Jeez.
High thumb, you a man, Harry.
I thumb.
AJ gets fired. In comes the Air Force chopper with Steve Buscemi going, I swear to God, man, she never told me her age. I don't think they're here for you. Okay. The Air Force guy gets out and he says, we're here at NASA. It's a matter of national security. He's like, Crazy Willie put you up to this? I'm afraid I don't know who Crazy Willie is, sir. And he's dead
serious
He
about
is,
this.
though.
Yes.
He plays it dead serious. Right, I don't know, Crazy Willie, sir.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
That's right.
He doesn't even blink.
With the helicopter wind and everything.
Yeah.
Just-
So he takes his daughter, and the whole point of taking the daughter is to separate her and AJ, right? So he's like, I'll come with you if you let me take the daughter with me. AJ gets fired and off he goes, and they go over to Washington. And after a couple of Texas, sorry, they're down in Houston, right?
Yeah, Houston.
They go over to NASA, and after the whole like, I don't want to hear any more apologies. Let's just get to brass tacks. And Truman and him meet, and he explains everything that's going on, and he's like, we're keeping this from the public because there's going to be a breakdown of every system in the world.
Mass hysteria.
Rioting, all that stuff. And so he finally gets to the question, why me? Right?
Yep. Because he's like 6 billion people.
We're
on the
all
planet.
wondering why you.
We're also wondering that, Harry. Maybe it'll be explained.
Not really.
It's totally explained. Harry Stamper designed the armadillo drill rig.
Okay.
Right.
That's why they pick him.
So they could have just had him come to fix it and then had an astronaut learn how to use it.
No.
But this is
No.
the end.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, why not?
Why?
Because you can't.
Listen.
Because Michael Bay said, you when someone suggested that.
Well, not only that, he said it to Ben Affleck.
Yes.
So it was Ben Affleck was
Right.
the one that was like, why
As
wouldn't
the
it be
story
easier?
goes. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts how to drill than teach a blue collar driller how
And
to
he
go
literally
be an
was just
astronaut?
like,
yeah, because there's no movie
Nope.
if you ask. That's why he responded with "F you," because
be like, listen, do you want to be in my movie, man? Do you want to be in this? Because I'll recast you.
the way they try to explain it they do at least try to explain it in the film.
I think they do it pretty successfully.
No,
they
they
steal.
don't. They don't do it successfully.
Come on.
Maybe it's because we've seen it 20,000 times that now we're like, oh, we know what that. But they basically stole his drill design to utilize it on the asteroid. And they're like, well, we know this is Harry Stamper's design, so we're going to bring him in because
We just get the key
screwed
to
it
the,
up.
He's like, we'll just get the key to the patent offense.
He's
He's
like,
like,
yes.
yeah, pretty much.
Like these, yeah. Let me guess. You've been tearing up rotors and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Oh,
because your
yeah.
cams are all wrong, Mr. Wizard.
That's right.
Come on.
Can't use these guys. We got to be able to trust each other and know and anticipate each other's.
It
movements
is
and
though. He's
that
all
stuff.
talking about intuition.
Yeah.
You know, I've been drilling. I've been putting holes in the earth for 30 years. Drilling's an art.
18
science.
whole months.
And
Well,
I-
gee whiz.
I do. He goes, all right. What's the backup plan?
Wait a minute.
And he's like, what do you mean?
He's like, your backup plan. What's plan B? He's like, there is no plan B. He's
No
like, "Are you-"
pressure.
He's like, are you kidding? This is the best that NASA can do.
Just
You guys, the government,
the U.S. government. You're NASA for crying out loud. You're geniuses. You put a man on the moon.
Right,
Sure,
and
you
you-
got a room of men sitting around just thinking up, and somebody's backing them up. And you're telling me that the 8 Boy Scouts over here, that's the best world hope? That's what you're telling me?
And he's like, geez. And this is the first time you see him really get anxious, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is way worse than I thought, right?
See, and this is, I've said this from the beginning of ever seeing this movie. And I have to mention it that Bruce Willis's character reminds me so much of my dad for so many reasons. Like just attitude, personality, even looks wise at the time, they kind of looked similar. My dad was an oil trucker.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Harry Stamper
Wow.
works on an oil rig.
That's funny.
The golfing, the everything. And then it comes to this moment and it just cracks me up because he's like, I just don't trust anybody else to do it. That's
Yeah.
all. And I just think of my dad when I was washing my car one day and stealing the sponge and just going, you know what, just rinse when I say. Like he wouldn't ever let me do anything. I mowed the lawn once as a child and he never let me do it again
It's easier to do it.
because I didn't do it well.
I hear you.
And I'm just like, yes, there it is.
But it is. It is your dad.
I just don't trust anybody to do it. That's all.
This whole speech does lead to a cool moment where he just finally, after he realizes he's freaking out a bit, and he just takes a deep breath and he goes, all they got to do is drill.
no spacewalking, no crazy astronaut
That's
stuff.
right. That's it. That's all
Just
they got to
drill.
do. And then we go, well,
Dude. Yep.
time to find the boys, because as soon as they get off the rig, they scatter across the country and they're going to get Harry's guys and they're going to have 12 days to teach them how to be astronauts and get up into space.
I just,
and drill a hole.
it's like no crazy astronaut stuff. Like the trip,
whole thing
the
is-
whole thing is crazy astronaut stuff.
Yeah.
all of it is crazy
The
astronaut stuff.
entire movie.
Them finding all of Harry's guys reminded me of Kermit finding all the Muppets in the Muppet movie.
Yes.
They're just all spaced out. Yeah.
Yes, that's such a good pull.
Muppets assemble.
We get Papa Bear, who is driving his motorcycle down the highway.
The only
Come
black
and get
man
me.
on a big dog in Kadoka, South Dakota.
That's right. Come and get me, man. They're all coming after him. Then after that, we get Max, who is in a tattoo parlor, right? And his
Hey,
mom
mama.
comes in with donuts.
Give me one of them yellow jelly bear claws.
Are you in trouble with the law again? No, Mama.
They're all
Dude,
FBI's.
camera.
That's literally right there.
Camera pull out to FBI agents.
Then we get Rockhound with a random cameo from Shawnee Smith in this movie,
Yeah.
right?
That's kind of.
And he's
What
like,
else is she in?
oh, she's in a bunch of stuff. She's in the Saw movies.
She's in the Saw movies.
Saw
yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew. Okay, I recognized her face.
Yes.
For so long watching Armageddon, I could never remember.
And he's looking
who it
at the
was.
rock on her finger.
Yeah.
He's like, "Can I tell you something?"
How long you been married? 2 weeks. You see this diamond? Yeah, it's not a diamond. Want a
another
drink?
Want another drink?
How old are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then when the FBI shows up, he turns to
Like,
her and
wait
goes,
a
"Yeah,
minute.
how old are you?"
Because he thinks it's because of that. Yeah.
Then after that, we get Owen Wilson getting chased on a horse, right?
Yep.
And
Real quick.
Probably the easiest one to
Dude,
catch.
real quick.
come on. Helicopters against a sunset.
Yep,
Nothing
good
says
stuff.
Michael Bay
No.
like helicopters on a sunset.
There's
And then
very
he says-
typical Michael Bay shots in this.
Bruce Willis says Chick is at the Caesar's Palace at the crab stable. He knows exactly where Chick is at.
No.
And he like hits 6 and he goes, finally.
Yes.
And then they're like, come with me, sir. Your luck just ran out.
And then AJ is the last one. And well, first there's like a little exchange with him and Grace, like we should go with this other guy. And she's like, he's not going to do a good enough job. And
Yep.
Harry goes out to get AJ personally, who's opened his own little drilling operation in the 24 hours.
That's what I was going to say.
And he has like a sign and everything. Like,
AJ
has
Frost
it even been
president.
24 hours?
I don't
God.
think it has.
No.
I think it was this morning.
Yeah.
that they went over there.
Yeah.
You know, that just shows that he had that already set up. He was planning on
How did Bear get to South Dakota? It's just
That's a great
the amount
question.
of time that's passed is not much.
It's 18 hours at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and then like the best line where he's like, AJ, there's not a job on this planet that I would want to work with you on.
You mean there's a problem that Mr. Harry Stamper, Mr. All Go No Stop Big Balls Harry Stamper,
Yeah, I can't manage.
Love that.
Yeah.
there's not a job on this planet that I want your help with, and I mean that.
And I mean that.
Yeah.
Harry,
Yeah.
wait, what's the job?
Yeah. What
Dude.
is it, man?
Obviously this whole movie is a montage.
The whole movie is a
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
But-
That I agree with Ebert about. The whole movie is a trailer.
Yes. It's 2.5 hours of just
of a montage.
rapid fire, crap your pants,
Literally.
basically. Yeah.
Right.
But like this is now the montage within the montage. But like I love the cut, like Aerosmith come together playing over this montage.
Yeah.
The way it's put together, it's so expertly crafted.
Yeah.
In the sense of like we got them all. Here's the team.
Well, that's why just in general about this movie, it's schlock, but it's so well done schlock.
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
you are completely,
Top tier.
yes,
schlock.
enveloped. Like you are,
Top tier.
like I believe it.
Yes.
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 I'm
USDA
invested.
certified. schlock.
Right. It's of the same DNA of like just what like Hard Ticket to Hawaii or whatever, right? It's of the same DNA as some really bad schlock. The only difference is it's like low money, low execution, high money, high execution.
Yep.
And you see how the big of a difference is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, they tell all the boys, they got them all, and there's like the scene of them all being dejected. I you thought nobody was reacting quite enough to
To
news.
how drastic of a situation this is?
Yes.
Yeah, like I think if anyone that I knew heard that news, like bawling on the floor in a ball, pretty
Right.
much.
That's
That's just like, I mean,
do
it's
think
quite
they-
literally life-ending news.
I think in general, everyone undersells their reaction to
Yeah.
a certain extent,
Except for Max.
except for Max.
Yeah.
Yes.
Max.
Yeah,
had
because
to-
he was
Max
like,
puts his head down.
he was
He's
like panicking.
Yeah.
You could see him like panic attacking, sweating.
I
Yeah.
would be Max in that situation.
The United States government's asked us to save the world.
Wasn't that ad-libbed? I'm pretty positive that line was ad-libbed
Yeah.
by Bruce Willis.
It
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
The U.S. government just
Yeah.
asked us to save the world. I'm pretty sure.
And I love Owen Wilson's like, this is deep blue hero stuff.
I'm in.
Of course, I'm in, right?
Although I don't share his enthusiasm, beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah.
That's right. And you think we get any hazard pay out of this?
Fair question.
No, it's fair.
I would have, I would be exactly like Rockhound. Be like, I'm not to be the materialistic weasel of this bunch, but I better get something for this.
Well, and this is so they make a list of demands.
Lists on lists.
Lists on lists. And I do agree with Jenna on this, and that you were pissed. This is the part where Keith David basically is talking about their rap sheets, that they're degenerates, they're criminals. And I'm like,
For like parking tickets and stuff.
but not only that, but like, it's the end of the world, so shut up.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going up there, are you?
Get over it.
Do you know what I mean? Right? Like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have squeaky clean Boy Scouts to send up to destroy this asteroid that's coming to kill everything.
He does
Except
say,
we did, but
Right? I mean, we could have, but we
could
didn't.
have, but we didn't.
He does say too. He says one of these guys was a collection agent for the mob. Two of these guys have done serious time. I want to know of that entire group, who was the collection agent for the mob?
Max.
I think I would
Yeah.
Probably
guess
Max.
Max. If
Yeah.
I had to guess, I'd go with Max.
Yeah, I think that's probably. And I'm
I
assuming
don't know why, but
Rockhound has
he's-
done time, probably,
Hey, I don't know,
maybe.
but he's really smart.
Well,
Chick, I'm assuming
she didn't let
Chick's done
him
that.
know her age, so
That's also true. The list of demands apparently was ad-libbed. Like, so they all wrote their own stuff on there, and then when
Yeah.
Bruce came up, he was just literally picking stuff off of sheets and ad-libbing it and
Yep.
reading them off.
I love that.
to
It's
the
a funny
guy.
scene.
No, it's good
It's
good stuff.
I know what Jen is talking about though, like because like we have the come together montage, which is very vibrant, very fast paced, fun, and then even like the sign off line to it is Michael Clark Duncan say, "Hey, what's up, man? That's fine oil on Uranus, man." Like, and then it's like this fun scene to now. Like you said, this completely like, hey, by the way, the world's ending and everyone's gonna die, so we need to save the world.
Yeah.
And this it's like horribly dramatic moment.
Yes.
And then back to
Yep.
We don't want to pay taxes again, ever.
Max wants
Yeah.
you to bring back 8 track tapes.
Right?
Bear wants to stay in the White Horse.
The White House. White House.
White House.
The Lincoln bedroom for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can take care of some of that.
Oh, yeah, right. And then it's time for, I think, one of my favorite scenes in the. And first of all, before I get to that, the no taxes ever is a perfectly reasonable request.
Yes.
Yes.
For what they're doing.
I
To
would say
save
so.
the entire planet.
And
yes.
at risk of a great bodily harm of the, like,
At risk of death.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Risk of death or dismemberment or,
Yeah.
So I hope they at least got
Post-traumatic
that.
stress.
Yeah, it's certainly probably
Or space
traumatizing.
dementia.
Right.
Yeah.
When we get Sweet Emotion kicking on and we get the boys going through the medical testing for that they would normally put them through 18 months of regular psychological and medical and all this other stuff, and they're doing it in 8 hours, right?
It's
There's
so
so
realistic.
many little points in this. Max is when she comes out with the syringe, he goes, "You stick me with that, I'm going to stab you in the heart with it."
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite parts.
I mean, that thing was a horse needle. Like, what are you sticking that thing in?
Yes.
There
that-
is so many lovely little lines
then
of
chick.
like
How about Rockhound?
Mr.
The Westinghouse Prize by 9, big deal.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
yeah,
double
that's
doctorate from MIT. Who cares?
I
You're
taught
like,
at Princeton for 2 years.
Dude, when the nurse comes out though and it says, "Mr. Chappelle,
Yeah.
you're next."
Oh, man,
that's
lady. I just came here to drill.
Oh, so did I. And
This might be the most uncomfortable room I've ever been in.
Can I handle what we're doing? Yeah, I can handle what we're doing. I just don't know if I can handle this room.
Apparently, all that stuff is improvised from what I read. This whole stuff, all
Oh,
their
really?
little scenes
Yeah,
where they're
they just
talking to the
kinda-
doctors and stuff, they're all just riffing. And so Will Patton's whole thing about like, I think I can handle what I'm doing. I don't know if I can handle this room, and that whole thing kills me.
Truly, though, the room is
Yes.
it's very strange.
it's very abrasive.
Literally, it's made of spikes.
It's made of spikes.
It's so
Like if
good.
someone wanted to just like shove someone and impale them on the wall, they could do that.
I wonder if this is like the normal NASA astronaut room, or they
don't know.
they were like, "Hey, we got to get some really freaky rooms in the next 24 hours for these guys."
They start putting down the files. Fail.
epically fail.
Epic. This guy has ketamine in his blood, which is a horse tranquilizer.
Some of these guys are pretty big.
What of it?
Dude.
Can they survive the trip? Is what Billy Bob Thornton. You're like, I'm amazed they survived the tests, right? And then you see
NASA approved.
Yep. Dun, 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 with the triumphant
Talk
music
about
cue.
the wrong stuff.
Oh yeah.
What a great line too from William
Fincher?
Fichtner there.
Oh, yeah. Was it Fichtner or I always say Fincher?
It's
Fichtner. I don't want to say the wrong thing because I get in trouble all the time for mispronouncing.
The internet
I said Wallace Shaw instead of Wallace Shawn in Vegas Vacation, and they've crucified me.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
Let
them
off.
Send us another email. Find out the pronunciation.
And what was the other thing? I said Claudia Schiffer instead of Christy Brinkley, which is a huge mistake.
That's a big mistake.
And I knew it was Christy Brinkley, and I didn't even realize I said Claudia Schiffer. But they have no chill whatsoever.
I would
James.
pronounce
Sorry.
it as Fichtner.
Fichtner.
Fitch.
Fichtner.
But see, the T throws it off.
Fichtner. Whatever.
Fitch.
We'll just call him William.
Billy Frick.
Billy Frick.
Billy or Fichtner.
right.
Billy Fick. Whatever.
They show them the new X-71, the new ships, the Independence and the Freedom, because the two crews, 2 or 3 astronauts are going to go with each crew, and then the drilling team is split. Everything we do, we double up. And on NASA, we don't do it.
We don't take chances.
Right.
Well, you're taking quite a big chance on this drill crew going into outer space.
The biggest
Classic.
chance. Yeah.
The biggest chance. The Earth depends on it.
We get the space training. They're swimming in the tank. Are we going to be swimming on this asteroid? They're like going through the whole thing. They start stripping down the name
armadillo.
of the armadillos. Thank you.
And like what again, this room that the armadillo is sitting in. First of all, how did it get there? Because I don't see any path wide enough through the spikes to actually drive it on there.
Came up through the floor.
That's right.
Yeah, it must have.
Just rose.
That's
Truman,
it.
what's this? A plastic ice cream scoop?
What'd that
What did that
cost?
cost? About $400.
Another great line. Just so many great.
Again, it reminds me
so
of my dad
many
so
great
much.
throwaway lines.
They put him in the jets to pull some G's, and I love that. We're gonna twist you.
Yeah.
We're gonna flip you.
Yep.
We're gonna suck the eyeballs.
Wreck your body till your bones hurt.
That's right.
And when
if
you squeal, I'm just gonna go faster and harder. Like,
I mean,
Max puked all over the cockpit. I think right when they're pulling him out.
Sorry about the rib chunks on your dashboard.
Right. Oh my gosh.
bleh.
They get that little sweet scene between Owen Wilson and Ben Affleck where he's like, "Who for Star Wars?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?" Well, I think I'm Han Solo. He's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm Han. If anything, you're
Chewie.
Have you ever seen Star Wars?
Kidding me?
It's such a random throwaway moment, but
Yes.
it like
I thought it was sweet.
it was. It makes like a difference because you can see that they're close.
Yeah.
In like
Yeah, I'm trying to just pull out the highlights because there's so much happens here, right? And so like, there's the other one where they're all talking about how hot Watts is. The female
Oh, yeah.
astronaut.
Oh, because then Watts is going through the DATs and how they.
Right.
Right. Because there's less gravity on the asteroid, everyone. Just so
Fair.
y'all know. Yeah.
do we have a problem?
Oh, ma'am.
'Cause I'm trying to teach you how to use these to keep your ass on the ground. So if I were to kick you in the balls and you don't know how to work them, what happens to you?
I'll float away. So
And then rocket. And when do we start training for that?
all right. So now we get the 6 days to go. Okay.
Yeah.
And they do the small scale run through. Like, let's keep the laughs to a minimum. It's not to scale. And they got the space shuttles on the sticks, and Billy Bob's running them through what they're going to do. And he's like, first we're going to dock at the Russian space station. Okay.
Get your liquid O2. That's your fuel.
That's your fuel.
He's like, I know you guys are really dumb, so I just want to make sure you understand.
Then we're gonna land. We're gonna as the asteroid's passing the moon, we're gonna be using the moon's gravity to slingshot around. We pulling some serious G's.
Yeah,
here at this
11
point.
Gs.
11 G's. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I think I saw this one on the Looney Tunes, or I don't know how he says it, right, with the coyote."
Yeah, that's the one with the coyotes sat his ass down in a
Strapped to a
slingshot
rocket, yeah.
and slapped it in, yes, to Acme Rocket. Is that what we're doing here?
Harry's like, Rockhound.
We
He's
have-
like, well, it didn't work out too well for the coyote, Harry.
We have much better rockets than the coyote.
Yeah.
Once
And Truman
again.
at that point just seems so like, oh my God, like just stop
Well, 'cause
talking.
then he doubles down. He's like, after your Roadrunner thrust move.
Yep. You'll be traveling at 22,500 miles per hour.
I'm gonna land on the back of this thing. And any idea what it's gonna be like up there? Owen Wilson, he's like 200 degrees in the sunlight, minus 200 in the shade. Razor sharp canyons of rock and
Unexpected explosions.
that's right.
Yeah.
Unexpected gravitational scenarios.
Yeah. Things like that.
So just the worst
So that-
environment has
It's the scariest environment imaginable. Thanks. That's all you had to say. Scariest environment imaginable.
Owen doesn't have a lot of like lines or parts in this, but when
He was
does,
iconic.
He's
Yep.
really good.
And he's the one oil driller who doesn't get introduced in the beginning.
That's true.
We don't actually know. Like Owen Wilson's first line is in the meeting room when he says, "This is Deep Blue Hero stuff, guys."
Yeah.
And like,
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, of course, like there's just the random cutaway when the helicopter's in. He's like, "What the hell?" Like
Harry is still upset about Grace and AJ because he sees them in the hangar, like hanging out in the
Well,
the engines of a.
They get snitched on by who is it?
Owen
Oscar.
Wilson. Oh,
Yeah.
And he's like, wait,
Yeah, he's
did you
over in the hangar
say
with AJ.
Grace? I thought you said Bear.
He said bear.
Everyone's rooting for Grace and AJ except for him.
They all follow like Harry around, like come on, like Harry, come on. She's a woman. She's like, while you were messing around, she'd grown up. She's turned into a little
fully
hottie.
hot.
That's right, Max. She's all right. Enough.
babe, she is fully hot.
Look,
She is-
she's at that age where she's getting curious about her body, and that's it's a
Oscar.
natural thing.
You're like 5 minutes older than Grace is. Why would I listen to you?
And he's
know
like,
how
I
it
know
is.
what my daughter is. Okay.
That's right. I just know what it is. Your hormones are going crazy. You know,
She's experimenting with her body.
that's a natural thing. It's a good thing. And right after
Hate
this,
that conversation.
Grace is like in her 20s. Like, it's not like she's like 16. Like, she's
Seriously.
coming into her own right now, but she's like probably 26.
yeah.
we do get 10 seconds of an endearing moment out of it, though.
I'm
Yeah.
glad he didn't
Yeah.
ruin it.
Yeah, because then like Michael Clark Duncan says, "Well, in part we all helped to raise her, so we all feel like a bunch of daddies here." And then Bruce with he does get but she's better than that. She's better than all of us.
right?
Yeah.
I'd be damned if I did all this and my daughter marry a roughneck.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the last thing that happens before really it's showtime here is he ends up giving everybody a day off because prior to that, AJ screws up the water simulation because he's hot-shotting again. They simulated a gas pocket and some iron ferrite, and he's like, we can push through. Because he believes that the computers don't understand Harry's equipment, and he goes, your equipment can do it.
Yeah.
And so I told him to push through, and the computer's just playing it safe. And he's chewing him out on the side of the
That men in
pool
their
and all
room
that.
have zero tolerance for showing off, hot dogging,
dogging.
Yeah.
going by your gut instinct, or you trying to be a hero. You got that?
Oh, you guys know this.
I know it's actually freaking me out, kind of.
That's
Sorry.
crazy.
Just like the whole movie's just playing in your guys' head.
Yes.
I can't even. I don't know even how many times I've seen this movie. Like
Yeah.
a lot. There's a reason that I was like, James,
Yeah.
I have to be
No,
on
I
Armageddon.
feel you. I feel
There
you.
was, and it's funny that Jenna says that. There was literally a point in my life, probably when I was like 13 years old, that I could literally lay down at night and I could just watch Armageddon in my head.
I can still do that.
That's awesome.
It's
I can
crazy 'cause it's a
1,000%.
really long movie.
I can
really
still
long.
do that.
But no, everyone's got those movies. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome. It's not that movie for me, but I do enjoy it. But like, I have those movies where I could sit here and do the movie, and I'm sure I've done that in other episodes. And when we get to, Tommy Boy or A Knight's Tale, I'll be the one sitting here doing every stinking line from the movie.
I could do that with Hamilton.
Yeah, there you go. Right?
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice.
that's
awesome.
impressive.
I know you're probably regretting having both Ryan and I on here.
Not
at
at
the
all.
same time.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
All right, so they give them all the day off. Like, look, our team's got to be a little more loose. They're all freaking out. It might be the last time they get to see their families. Don't you want to be with your daughters? And even
Yeah.
Billy Fricker is
Really fit.
Billy Fick is like, yeah, I
Fricker.
want to be with them too. And so they all scatter a little bit. This is where we get the iconic animal cracker scene with.
I don't think the animal cracker really qualifies as a crack.
Because the main identifying characteristic of a cracker is that you put cheese on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby, you have such sweet pillow talk.
Look, once again, a scene that probably in '98 probably got torn apart, but I feel like it is just so iconic at this point in like the animal cracker scene from
The
Armageddon.
gazelle.
Watch the gazelle as it rises through the open plain.
It felt kind of organic, and it didn't
Yeah.
feel like
Right,
it was-
though.
Yeah, it didn't seem scripted.
No.
I just can't help the fact that this romantic scene is being overplayed by her father's song. And that throws me off a little bit because it's like, yeah, Dad.
He was just up in the tree.
Yeah. Don't want to close my eyes.
Steve Tyler is
I don't want to fall
serenading.
asleep because I miss you, babe. And I don't want to miss a thing. Dad, shh. We're having a moment.
Even when I dream of
I mean, they were literally outside, so anybody could have
the
just.
sweetest dream I never do. I can still hear you.
miss you, babe.
I don't want to miss a thing. Dad.
Dad, go away. Go away.
Go away.
I'm coming into my own right now. I'm
right.
experimenting with my body.
The cracker's about to go into the mountainous regions in the north.
And the mountain speaks above.
He's putting the gazelle in the southern plains.
oh, Dad.
And then she asks the weirdest question. She goes, you think anybody else in the whole earth is doing this very thing right now? And I'm like, hard no.
Dude,
no,
come on. Once again.
I also said Van Halen earlier. I'm realizing I meant
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
I know you
I'm
did.
going to get torn apart for that.
Yeah.
At least you corrected it.
Send us an email about that one.
Yeah.
If they make it through, it might have already been fired off by the time they get to this part of the episode.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. They haven't even made it here. And they're
paused
just
the
like, this
episode to
dumb
send
bitch.
Dude,
All
but
right.
the line, the sign off of it, though.
Yeah.
I love it. I hope. Otherwise, what the hell? What are we trying to save?
That's right.
Like,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The scene, like, it's a very organic scene. It plays organically. Sure, they maybe shoehorned it in at the last second because they wanted to capitalize on the Titanic romance thing, which, whatever. But call me crazy.
You're crazy.
Thank you. It's one of the best
Told me to.
romantic scenes of the 90s.
All right.
It definitely felt better than Rose and what's his face's name?
Yeah.
In the
Jack and
car?
Rose.
Jack and Rose.
In the foggy car?
I mean, yeah, okay. Fine. Like, where to, miss?
Okay,
To the
but
stars.
nobody.
Like,
And they're actually going to the stars. It's like, I'm literally going into space, baby.
all right,
Well,
well,
like you said, nobody else is doing what they were doing, obviously.
All right. Fine.
we'll send a poll out. Jack and Rose in the car or AJ and Grace doing animal crackers, right? We'll
Now,
see.
Will Patton is not. This isn't his most intense role, and I think the last time I got in an argument about Will Patton and Punisher, I said there are movies where I don't think he's winning his own award because he's not playing that kind of character. He does have a couple of moments of Will Patton-ish intensity in this movie, and he goes right into form. But I love how he plays this scene outside of his ex-wife's house here, where he sees his kid, who obviously doesn't know who he is because he says, "Who's that man?" And she says, "It's a salesman."
Salesman.
Yeah.
Makes me so sad.
And he says to her, "I got something coming up, something kind of big, and you might just be proud of me." And he's like, "Will you give this to him for me?" And you know, tell him who it's from. And just the way he plays that it's so good.
It is it's the reverse of what we've kind of like joked about with Will Patton.
Yeah.
This is like him being nuanced and
Yeah.
his face, the stuff he does with his face in this scene. This to me is actually one of the moments I choke up in the movie. Because
Yeah.
it is
right here. Yeah.
this, like, say what you will about, Harry Stamper and his daughter and all the other stuff, but like the scene with Chick and the way that Will Patton does it, I'll choke up at this scene. It's one of the most emotional scenes of the movie. It's just him putting this space shuttle on the front porch.
Absolutely.
And it hits different when you become a parent too.
Yeah.
Because like he doesn't know his son and you can tell all he wants to do is run up and pick up his son and hug him and
do something that they'll actually be proud of, which
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's one of those guys that's been in prison and maybe hasn't had a great life. And obviously the courts told him he can't, not only doesn't get to split time with him, he can't be around at all.
yeah.
Right? So,
So it's hard for her to trust him in that way, for
right.
sure.
You can't come around here. The court said you can't, right?
It confuses him.
It confuses him, all that stuff. Yeah. And so then we get the strip club. I mean, there's a little cutaway before that where they see him, Rockhound taking $100,000 loan out from a loan shark.
Yeah.
Because
You're not going to die on me, are you?
he's so smart. And Buscemi has said this with the character. The character is such a genius. He knows they're not coming back, right? He knows there's no way it's going to work. And so he's done the math or the calculus or whatever. So he doesn't think he's going to pay back this money. He takes all the other guys to a strip club with $100,000.
How long would they have to be there to blow through the
Not that long.
It's because he's even like, his line is like, "Hey, Noonan, you need 10 grand?" And he just throws it to him.
That's 10% of it right there.
There you go.
Okay. And there's the freaking stripper. And he's like, they're telling them all they're astronaute.
Yeah.
Or,
See,
I'm a mission
I'm a mission specialist.
Well, what does that mean?
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. And then the dudes come over and they're pissed off because like you're hogging all the action.
Yeah.
Spread the wealth around or whatever, and bar fight happens, and they all
Right.
get freaking arrested.
Here,
They're
why don't you
against
go
the
buy
thing.
yourself a neck?
I love how he yells at the cops, right? Like, you guys are so fired, man.
I'm
Like,
an
get
astronaut.
We're
I'm
astronauts.
an astronaut.
Yeah, we're all astronauts.
That's even the other. That's right. Oh man, Grace and before now it's basically go time at this point. Dottie's gone public. You
Oh
get
yeah,
the text
you get
message.
the B scene of the asteroid hitting Shanghai in the tidal
right.
wave. Yeah.
Dottie's gone public. The world knows. At this point now, the press are showing up at NASA. It's getting kind of crazy. It's pretty much go time. Grace and Harry have a little moment where she makes him promise that he's going to come back. Okay. And he promises her. This is right at the Apollo 1.
This is at the Apollo 1 land. At the launch site of the Apollo 1.
And she just sneaks in there like, also, if you could just bring my fiance back. Yeah. It's like, I knew you couldn't be mad at me in this moment. We're hugging. So.
And then we get the suit up scene. Everybody's suiting up and we're
I love this scene. It's such a tension builder.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
And because you get the press talking and all that stuff at the same time. And then you get Ben Affleck. And this scene could have very easily played so cheesy they would have had to cut it out. But he sings Leaving on a Jet Plane to Grace as they come out.
I think it's
At first I was kind of cringing, but then I was like, when everybody joined in, I thought it was sweet.
Yeah.
I think it's because he sings so poorly.
Yeah.
That it's like, it's fine. We'll give it to him.
It works though. It is cringy because his voice like cracks in weird ways. Like,
That'll be so enjoyable for our listeners. Thank you guys.
You're so
As
welcome.
everyone just pulled their headphones right out of their ears.
You know
right
what?
you know
I'm
what?
gonna get torn apart for the Van Halen
That's fine.
comment.
You know
so-
what? That's how it happens in the movie.
It does, and this is another point where I told Keith David to shut up because while they're all singing, it pans up to him. He's like, "These are the guys," and I'm like, "Shut up!"
Right.
dude."
They are literally about to sacrifice their lives, and you're being such a dickhead.
Seriously, because they're gonna sing a song. Like,
Right.
go home, go be with
Yeah.
your wife. There's literally nothing. Well, we find out there is something for him to do, but at this point, I'm thinking there's nothing more for you to do.
Right. Just get out of
Leave
here.
this in these guys' hands and get out of here. I don't want to hear any more freaking peanut gallery comments.
A lot of shade thrown at General Kimsey.
Because
He's an asshole.
What's he gonna do? Are you gonna go put a suit on and go because you think this
Yeah.
guy is not good enough?
Like, for real. Shut up.
Shut up, jerk.
And
We get one of the most epic president
So
speeches
dude,
ever, though.
this 7 minutes.
The Rock
this-
president, same guy.
It is.
Yes.
I was gonna say it's the same president from The Rock.
This is the hardest call I've ever had to make.
It rivals
That's
the
right.
Independence Day
yeah.
speech, in my opinion.
Airstrike approved.
Right.
Sorry, I'm in the Rock.
Now you're in The Rock.
All right, go
yes.
ahead. But
How
yeah,
does
same
one-way
guy.
life? The fate of an entire city versus 81 hostages. Airstrike approved.
Yeah.
But no, wait,
Okay.
back to Armageddon.
Back to Armageddon.
Because, and here, Trevor Rabin, the composer of the movie, right? This is where his actual, because we've had some good music. I think we've had some good score music
The
to this
score of
point.
this movie is
Yeah.
great.
To this point of the movie, we've had some good music, but this is now the over the edge moment with the Armageddon suite. And dude, everything about this scene,
Yeah.
the way it's cut, say what we have about how frenetic everything has been.
Yeah.
There's finally a moment where even though it's still paced, it slows down, pulls you in with the music. The president who gives, this is probably one of the best movie president speeches of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's great. And it's all intercut with them getting on the
Yeah.
shuttle.
Yeah. The door comes up, you see the silhouettes of them, and then they,
Yeah.
the
I would
crowd
have felt so
stands
cool.
up.
Like, just like strutting under the.
It's cut into all,
Dude.
it's cut into
Yeah.
all the different like countries all watching. and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Translate. You even get like the translation of it.
I
but
thought those were really sweet.
Well, and you get the mom and her son, and she's like, "That man's not a salesman.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
your daddy."
That's your dad.
so
And it's like,
So good.
yeah.
my heart.
I hope everyone is feeling the chills.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when the president, he starts his speech very well, like, I address you tonight not as the president of the United States, but as a citizen of humanity. And like he says, that's when he says the thing. The Bible calls this day
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Say the thing.
He said it.
Hey.
That's good
But
stuff.
the moment, the moment though, is when he's like, but the dreams of an entire planet are focused on those 14 brave souls traveling into the heavens. And it like cuts to the shot that like it's literally panning down them as they walk towards the thing.
Yes.
Like, yes.
So good.
much. Yes.
So much yes.
So much yes.
Yes.
I don't care how many times I've seen this movie. It's the same reaction every time. I'm like,
It is. It's like in Independence Day when he's like, does somebody have any missiles left? And
Yeah.
Randy Quaid comes, he's like, I have one missile left, Mr.
Right.
President. And you're like, yeah.
Sorry, I'm late, Mr. President.
Like,
I told you I wouldn't let you down.
It's so good.
It is though. Like this is even. It's not even like an emotional scene, and I'll choke up during this moment in the movie. Like
I love it, man.
Feeling it all over.
We get them inside the ships, and they're strapping them in. And Owen Wilson has another great moment where he's like 98% excited, 2% scared.
Or maybe it's 2% excited, 98% scared.
That's what's so great.
That's what's so great about it. I don't know. I can't tell.
Could you make this a little tighter? I don't want to fall out.
Yeah, like
to the point of
cutting off circulation, please.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Then Rockhound's like,
You're sitting on 40 tons of fuel, one nuclear weapon, and a thing that has 270,000 moving parts built by the lowest bidder.
That's right.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
That's right.
Harry's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like how it took some pressure off of the whole situation of
bit.
those little comments.
Right.
They launch.
Dude, once again, got the
Good stuff.
the classic build-up. Got the go for launch, retro, go
All
light,
that stuff.
all of it.
And the first thing they're doing, the guy's been stuck on the space station for 18 months, so he might be a little bit
Off.
They're going to dock at the Russian space station, and there's a cosmonaut named Lev. They're played by Peter Stormare, one of my favorite character actors. This is a Russian space station. And he's like floating upside down as he goes, around the thing.
And they're like, just hang out. They'll be there soon. He's like, I'm not going anywhere.
They get in there. I'm having gravity.
It's like, Houston, I could feel the gravity.
That's right.
Yeah.
How do they like make it spin so that you are on the floor, what's meant to be the floor, and not like gravitied onto the ceiling?
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it.
They press the
Okay.
button.
So what they
press
do
a button and
is
it
they
just
push a
works.
button and
Yeah.
it does.
You know what Michael
Okay,
Bay would
got
say?
Yeah, you know what he would say.
Yeah.
He'd tell me to off.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would do. The guys come in. It's very cramped and crowded, and there's like, touch nothing, you idiots, is basically his.
It's the classic.
AJ is the one that's sent down into the cold. There's one compartment that's just super mega cold down
Into the fuel pod.
Yeah, and he puts them like in literally like mittens and like a
hat.
a babushka.
Why is that where the fuel pod is?
I don't
Like,
know.
why?
Down into there.
And why is it so cold?
And he gives him the instructions so fast. He's like, okay, good.
The 160, okay.
You put this, and when it comes down, you see the code.
The
160,
200, a
okay.
disaster for space
200,
station.
not so good. And it's like going.
Why couldn't he just do it?
And then-
Like, I don't understand
If
why.
it goes here, you pull this leg. Okay, bye. And he goes. It's like I didn't catch half of that,
Dude, he even says,
And also in the Russian accent.
That's right.
I love it how he's even like going through and he's like, oh, that goes past 200. Then you push this, you ask for Lev, and you tell me that's
right.
And he's like, what's Lev? I'm Lev.
And this is Lever.
That's right. Oh,
What did he say about the photo of his uncle too on the wall? That one of
That's
the
my uncle. He's the genius of the family. He's the one that built the bomb tip that finds New York or Washington.
Los Angeles.
and then like isn't Bruce Willis like, oh my god.
All about AJ's like, ah,
dancing.
somebody.
Because it's going into 200 and he hits the button.
It
for
goes
Lev.
into 200 immediately.
happens so fast.
One of the pipes is leaking and shitting oil or gas all
Liquid
inside.
O2.
Liquid
Liquid
O2.
O2,
Yeah.
That's your
whatever it is.
fuel, James.
Okay. It's just crap. I thought it was just regular 87 unleaded gas
Yeah.
to get it mobile. Anyway,
Yeah,
he's
Lev's
like,
a gas station attendant.
I'm pulling this lever and it freaking just snaps off. AJ
I wonder
snaps the
why,
lever
because
off.
it's freezing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's got to get back to the shuttle. I mean, this is Lev figures out what's going on. It's like, back to the shuttle, right? Like
Yep.
and it's just pandemonium, okay?
escalates so quickly.
AJ can't get
Yes,
out
it
of
does.
the ladder because it's like explosions happening down there. They straight up leave AJ and Lev
Yeah.
behind.
They're like, bye.
They have
Bruce
to.
Willis tries to go get him, but they carry him back to his ship.
Yeah.
We're not leaving without AJ.
Billy Fricker's like, like he's gone. He says, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
No, they're,
He's
they're
literally
running
right there.
AJ's gone.
I can
right.
still get him.
It makes sense though. It like once again back to the gravity of the situation or lack thereof. You're on a mission to save the entire planet. There's no time. Like, well, the station's gonna blow up. We need to leave. Whoever, if you can't get on the
Right
shuttle, sorry, that's what it is.
Yeah.
they crawl through the frickin' vents like it's like 100 below zero.
Yeah,
or
and he's like, hold your breath or
Hold
your
your
lungs
breath.
will freeze. That's terrifying because they have to crawl like a solid 50 feet,
Yep.
Yeah.
holding their breath while the entire thing shakes and explodes.
And they just barely make it. thing is exploding. I told you, touch nothing. You a cowboy.
Yeah, you're a bunch of cowboys.
It does though. It just happens so fast.
But I also they're like, turn on the tracking, and it's just these little green dots, and they're like, there's 2 cosmonauts still in there.
There's still 2 men trapped out there. Boom.
We all made it. We're heavy one cosmonaut, right? I think is what he's saying to him.
Right.
And it's time to slingshot.
Scene, no? Yeah.
What's up?
We got a good scene out of it. I mean, it's a very gratuitous.
Did it need to?
No.
There's plenty of craziness going to happen on the
another
asteroid.
problem that gets added to
This was
Right. We
this
need
was-
more conflict. More conflict.
This was the moment where like the launch scene is so like the launch goes off without a hitch, and it's beautiful. It's 7 minutes and it's still awesome, and it goes off without a hitch. And now it's like, oh well, you know what? We just had that scene where nothing actually happened. So now we need to blow up a space station.
Right.
Now we need a lot of things to happen.
Exactly.
And yeah,
Or
it
like when Will Patton's looking up,
escalates quickly.
he's looking up through the window, and
Yeah.
like that piece is like,
Oh, it's going to come down and.
why is it falling?
Well, you see,
Look.
we are having gravity. We are having
It just
gravity.
falls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no
Because they push the
gravity.
button that spins it, and so there's
But
gravity.
that's outside, though.
There's gravity on the outside too.
Oh, the outside of space?
And like,
Because
it's not.
spinning.
Yeah.
It doesn't explode downward.
Hold on, let me call Michael Bay.
Yeah.
F you. That's
Yeah.
what he says.
That's fair.
You know, and he was saying now he's like, you know what? Sandra Bullock made a whole movie about it. So
That's right. That's right.
Go watch that
Shut
one.
up.
All right.
You dumbass.
Let's slingshot these guys around the moon, okay?
Here we go.
Which is what's happening here, and they 8 G's.
Yeah, pure
9
chaos.
Gs, 10 G's. How long is it gonna last?
I'm gonna die.
Yes.
This is why astronauts train for 18 months
Yeah.
and not 12
Oh,
days.
seriously.
Yeah, and they start yelling that it's worse than the simulation, and that's what's going
This isn't
wrong.
normal.
Yeah.
They
This
come
is
up
way worse.
Behind the asteroid, and I'm like, how are they gonna land? There's so much debris.
Yeah. And
There's
the
just
asteroid's like,
rocks
Yeah.
everywhere.
it's like a giant spike. And
Do they have a steering wheel, or like how does it work?
The yoke.
It's a joystick. Like, think of Mission to Mars at Disney World, right? Like,
Okay.
you've got the pilot that's got the joystick.
exactly the same.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so that is probably more realistic. That ride's more realistic.
Yes, I
Then-
think
Yeah.
probably. Sure.
Okay.
I don't know. But it's just like there's
This
so
is-
much debris. It's like,
No, and this is like the big. Well, the plan's gone tits up because,
Right.
like, in the briefing, they say, "Oh, we hope that most of the debris is going to be caught by the moon's lunar gravity, and it's
Yeah.
going to clear the way for you."
Nope.
Nope, didn't happen.
But why not?
Independence, one of the shuttles, Independence, gets tore up and crashes, and the pilots are dead. And
Yeah. And they're like,
Yeah.
put your helmet on. It's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would ever take mine off, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. If I was going into space, I'd be like, no, I'm keeping this on forever.
but long story short, because just every scene is an action scene at this point, so it's like,
Yes.
you know,
It does not stop
It does
from
not
this
stop.
So
point.
stressful, actually.
Yeah, this
Very
movie is
stressful
really
for you?
stressful.
Independence goes down.
First time watching it, I would like, I don't know what happens, obviously.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just like the whole time was just like,
You were getting
oh
mad.
my God. Yeah. Hot take, I'm not that big of a fan of action movies.
Okay.
So don't
Well,
blame
you
me.
picked the
Don't
wrong
blame me.
movie.
So I don't know. I like movies that I've seen a bunch of times because I obviously know what's gonna happen in this situation. But it's just like I know that it's gonna work out in the end. But
No, but like as you're saying, like they just kept making everything go wrong just to stress you out.
yeah, and I didn't want AJ
Yes.
to die. So
Yeah,
I was like,
that was the one. You
especially
were all
when their what's it called, spaceship? Yeah,
their spaceship crashes,
when their spaceship crashes, I got so upset.
Did you?
and
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's great though.
and the Freedom lands,
Wow.
and he's like,
Well, I mean, come on, that's the point of the movie.
"What is
Yeah.
he? What does Rockhound call the pilot?" He goes,
After they land,
after they land, he called
Captain America
Captain
here.
America here
Yeah.
overshot our landing zone by 26 miles.
Captain
He
America.
How do
landed
you
us on
know that?
He landed because I'm a genius.
Yeah.
He landed us on a goddamn iron plate, right? Like this is where we're supposed to-
thermographics indicated that Grid 9 was compressed iron ferrite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
all
good.
that.
Thing after thing, we couldn't do anything right. it
Nope,
seems.
nothing.
Now it does cut back over to the crashed Independence, and we find out that Oscar sadly is dead, but AJ, Bear, and Lev are the three that have survived that crash.
Yes.
Okay.
Owen Wilson's also really bad at being dead because his eyes twitch like.
Yes.
times.
Every time a pyrotechnic goes off, you can see
Yeah,
him,
his eyes are like-
his eyes are like. "Ugh."
It's
Yeah,
it's leftover gravity from the Russian space.
that's what it was.
We
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
gravity.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So
They get to the drill site. This is like Dr. Seuss's worst nightmare. They pull the armadillo out to the flat area for the drill site, right? And he's like, iron ferrite. They're testing all the different spots. He's like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be any deeper than 50 feet, though. And he's like, yeah, how do you know that? Because if it is, we're screwed.
Yep.
Right. So,
so we're just gonna, we're really hopeful.
we're just going to drill right here, and it chews up one bit in 10 feet.
10
feet.
Yeah, 10 feet.
He's
It's like we've all seen a broken drill
We've
bit
all
before.
seen
It's like,
broken drill heads before.
not
Oh,
after
yeah.
10
Not
feet.
after 10 feet.
No, and then we get the drilling montage, right? Where it's like, put the hammer down.
Yeah. Go,
Kinda,
go,
yeah.
go, go.
And they chew up a first transmission, right?
Yep.
Ugh, transmission.
Well, because like they can't get it to shut down, so Chick's like, "Well, this isn't moving," and he's trying to like
That's not
another lever that
moving.
doesn't work.
Yep.
They really need to stop trusting levers in this movie.
Meanwhile, AJ is freaking out. He's like, I don't know how to drive. I don't know what this button does. I have this beep here, and I'm trying to follow this beep. Okay.
And he's just pressing stuff. I'm like, what if that opened the
The hatch. Yeah, right? Is there air? No.
Yeah.
Right?
So you probably shouldn't do that.
And why is there a Gatling gun on the armadillo?
Do you know why?
No, I don't.
They thought they were going to sell some toys. No, I'm not even kidding. They literally thought to make it a more like action-y vehicle, they needed to put Gatling guns on them.
Yeah, because there's two of them.
Yeah.
There's the undermount one that AJ uses to blow through the hull of the Independence.
That's right.
And then obviously the laser pointed Gatling gun
why?
later on.
Why does that exist? Why is it just laying out? What were you going to use that for?
just aliens show
Just
up.
shoot the asteroid.
Just shoot
this is
the
what I'm
asteroid.
saying. And yes, we should have had aliens. What should have happened is they should have got there, and there should have been a couple of drunk aliens that were like, "We didn't mean to do this, but it just started going." And, you know what I'm saying? Right? And they're like, "We don't know, flurb, flack, flurb," you know. And
Our trajectory was really off. Sorry.
they were trying to hitch a ride back to Zargon, and this is what they ended up happening. So if you could get us off this trajectory, that'd be great. They could have added that in there, and it would have been great.
What a great
Hey,
subplot.
don't worry, we're gonna blow it up
Yes.
with a nuke.
Right.
It'll be fine. You guys will be okay.
Be fine. Get on
in.
this half. This
Yeah,
half is
exactly.
gonna
You
go.
get on this half. You get on that one, and you'll just.
Figure it out from there. All right. AJ's found the beep. It goes back to NASA, and they're talking about a secondary protocol because they want to know how deep. And so Harry's.
because they lost contact with both of the.
Yeah, they get the communication's been spotty because it's
Yeah.
rotating now in a third act.
all this chaos, all this exposition going on in the movie at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a 5-second clip of like, well, you see,
Yeah.
the explosion or whatever has made it turn on an axis. We didn't anticipate
the
this.
moon's gravity.
It's just fun.
literally it's literally just as the asteroid passed the moon, the gravity put it into a tailspin.
But it's putting pressure on the government because they're going to lose in about 5 minutes
Yeah.
the ability to remote detonate the bomb, which is
We
their
have 7
Great.
minutes.
Fail-safe.
Let it go.
We have 7
Right.
minutes of radio, and we can remote detonate for an additional 5.
Here's what's so stupid about the secondary. The way they say it is like it's a fail-safe for if the drilling doesn't work, they still can blow the bomb. But there's no point because they've already told you it won't work,
Right.
right?
So this is the most pointless conflict
Yeah.
in the entire movie.
Because in marches the secondary protocol team, and they're going
They've just been in the elevator
they've
for
just
like
been hanging
hours.
out in the elevator for 4 hours.
This
I
is
guess
our
it's-
moment.
I guess it's better to try something rather than nothing. So if the drilling wasn't meant to,
Yeah.
wasn't going to work, they might
Because-
as well,
Harry's going.
Detonate the nuke.
Yeah.
Harry and Chick are in the ship trying to figure out the next transmissions. It got burned out, and Billy Frick comes in and is like, "How deep are we?" Like the government wants to know how deep we are, and finally he's like, "We'll be a lot deeper when you stop bitching and
Yeah.
help us get this transmission
Yeah.
out there." He's like, finally he stops. He says 57 feet. They're supposed to be at 200 at this point, right? And so when he says 57 feet, he assumes it's tits up at that point. Billy Ficker.
Yes, and he goes and gets the U.S. personnel only drill time card.
Yes, that which Harry reads off, and it's like, I don't know what this
wrote this?
U.S. right.
It's true that once again,
And then we
this
get
is,
the-
They have a
and you know what,
fight.
guys? This is why you send oil drillers instead of astronauts.
They have this big fight. And he goes, "You were the biggest mistake in the history of NASA,
Dude.
right? You and your men."
Woof,
Right?
rough line.
Made me so sad.
Keith David's on the phone with the president. You think your Billy Bob is on the phone with the president. You think he's talked him out of it, but he then tells Keith David to blow it anyway. This is when frickin' Fincher gets the pistol out of the safe. Hasn't pulled it yet, but he's got it out of the
And
safe.
then we get the line.
Not yet.
Not even yet.
That's later.
But
Billy
this
Bob is. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, because this is as we're talking about.
This is one order you should ignore, and you frickin' know it.
Yes.
Right.
There's so much in this scene, as stupid as the secondary protocol scene is, in the general sense of like, well, that's really dumb that a president would greenlight that, knowing that it's literally going to not
Destroy
work.
the Earth.
And we're all like, the 6 billion people on the planet are guaranteed gonna die because this is not gonna work.
Now,
I feel
now
like you might as well just like take that chance.
Now you've murdered the drillers, and you definitely won't drill.
And
Right. And like when Liv Tyler comes in and she's like, you haven't told them yet.
Right.
That's my father up there.
but there's so much drama in it, and that's like what makes the scene good, even though it's a completely stupid scene, and it's a scene that if this movie were ever remade, I would hope that they cut it and did something else.
Yeah.
But you get like that is my father up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Billy
so
Bob.
much screaming.
And then even dude,
So much
and
screaming.
when the
Okay,
when
well,
they
she's valid,
finally
though.
activate.
Well, they arm the thing and they turn the key, and then Will Patton's got a great line.
Harry, the clock on that 9-foot nuclear weapon is ticking.
That's right. Like,
oh my
what happened?
God.
And this secondary protocol, Billy Fricker's telling him what's going on. He's like, how we shut it off? Right?
Yeah.
Like Will Patton's like,
It's not my call. Let's get it out. He's like, what do you mean it's not your call?
Oh, we just turn this off, and then we figure this all out.
Yeah.
Turn into a serialistic nightmare.
And he's just
That's intense, man. Like I'm telling you, Will Patton gets when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
He can do it
like
with the best of them.
that's his character. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like that's his character, and he plays it so well that he doesn't have to be over the top.
Yeah.
Just the delivery of the things that he says of like, this is turning into a nightmare.
It's
Like,
a realistic nightmare, man. And down there, Billy Bob's trying to kill the uplink, and he's going through his old, which they only just basically pause it for a little while.
yeah,
right?
like 2 minutes,
2
maybe.
minutes, whatever they're framing that. Finally, Fichtner pulls the gun on Bruce Willis, and you get.
What are you doing with a gun in space?
I literally did that last night while we were watching. I was like, yeah.
It's so good because it's such an. I know we use it all the time, but it's such an honest line reading from Will Patton, like the way he says it, right? He's literally so confused.
What are you doing with a gun?
With a gun in space. We're in space. Why do you have a handgun?
Yeah.
But right though, like good question. That's a fair question.
Yes.
I hadn't seen this movie, and so when he said that line, I was like, wait, I know that.
I know that line.
Harry takes
It's all
that,
coming back to me now.
Harry takes that moment to nail Fricker with the wrench. They
Well, yeah,
start wrestling.
because the bomb shuts off.
Yeah.
So it goes like, "Zoom."
This is when
Red or blue, red or blue, red or blue.
Well, we're there in a second. He grabs his neck with like these giant forceps, that he's got, right?
some type of
that
pipe
like
clamp.
hurts me.
It's a huge pipe clamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're never going to get there if we're trying to kill each other. All my years of drilling, I have never missed a depth. I will make 800 feet.
Once again, another rabble rousing
Yeah.
moment.
And Chick's just like 1 minute,
1 minute.
42
seconds.
That's right.
38
At this
seconds.
point, Max
Get as
and Rock,
close as we possibly
like Max
can.
and Rockhound have now made their way in here and see all this happen.
What'd we miss?
What'd we miss?
Yeah.
Finally, he goes, you swear to me, you swear on your life, on my daughter's lives, you make that depth, right? And this is where Billy Frickner finally gets on the home team.
Let's turn this bomb off.
Let's turn this bomb, boom, and him and the other astronauts start pulling it
Gruber.
apart. Is that Gruber? Is that his name?
Gruber.
Okay.
It's like Gruber's one moment.
And that's like blue, red,
Red wire
It's like-
A, terminal B.
four, three, two.
Red or blue?
Last second switches to blue.
Blue.
That's
Click.
it.
It's
Good job.
But the thing is, and this scene though was so commonplace in 90s action
Yes.
movies. 80s and 90s, there was
Down to
like
the very
always
last
a bomb, always a ticking bomb, always red or blue. Like that particular scene, once again, so cliched, such an
Yes.
archetype. Wish it was not in this movie.
Trope.
But
Yeah, no, absolute trope. But it's got such a great bow on the end of that scene
Yeah.
with Max going, sucks.
Sucks up here.
It's good stuff.
God, it sucks up here.
He finally gets back on the horn with NASA, right? Houston, you have a problem.
you have a problem.
Right. You see, I promised my little girl I was coming home, right?
Yeah.
And so and that's where
I don't know what you people are doing down there.
We
But
got
we got a hole to dig up here.
That's right.
Ah!
Cut to AJ. So what, we just ran into the Grand Canyon of this asteroid? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Ever heard of Evil Knievel?
Yeah.
back to, I mean,
I don't watch
once
Star
again, their
Wars.
little conflict is interspersed here.
I told you took a wrong road.
Wrong way, wrong road.
What road?
You see any roads here? Although I do love the line when he's like, "Hey Lev, why don't you just do humanity a favor and just shut the hell up?"
That's right. Great stuff. Cuts back to Steve Buscemi, who's losing it at this point, and he is riding on the nuke.
No
nukes! No nukes! No nukes!
Get off the nuclear warhead.
Classic.
I'll just do anything from Slim Pickens where he rides it all the way in.
Yeah.
No, you haven't seen
You
it.
didn't see that one, huh? Oh my god!
You got any bullets left in that gun, Sharp?
Cuts back. AJ's plan is to, because of the ball kicking comment, right?
Yeah.
Earlier, is that we're gonna ride off this ramp of this cliff, and we're gonna kill the thrusters.
Who would have thought that was foreshadowing?
And yeah, and
Beautiful
then they're gonna ride
screenwriting.
all the way across this massive gulf, and then we'll hit the thrusters at just the right moment, and we'll land safely down
Is this
there.
gonna work?
50-50.
I don't know. It's 70-30. I don't know.
You know, if it does, we're all going to be heroes.
Just like me.
Just like me. Yep. That's right. Great stuff from Peter. And it's another just insanely stressful action sequence that
Yep.
drags
It
out
just
for
drags
so long.
on so long. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, like
Just jump the canyon and let's get on with this
yeah,
freaking
get
movie.
down
it's a
already.
Little too much.
Oh, we
now the-
are
You got Lev,
floating.
Lev hanging from this wire.
The
and-
thrusters are
Oh,
working.
we are floating into outer space.
That's right. He's out there trying to mess with it. He's like, it should be working now. Right?
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
know?
go outside. You're gonna go outside?
certified astronaut,
That's and right.
I'm saving your American ass.
That's right.
Yeah, you listen to him. Right.
Cuts back, and this is where sadly they're getting pretty close to. I think they're 150 feet away from hitting the
200,
depth.
like
200,
250 feet away.
and they're arguing about something, and the gas starts to come up through the.
this is when Rockhound
hole.
uses the gun.
Yeah, this is because he's firing.
So-
That's what they're arguing about is him firing the Gatling gun. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
so he starts shooting the Gatling gun, and
he
people are
says-
diving.
You hear Bruce Willis go, Max, downshift slowly, right? Mm-hmm. Back it out of there. The ground starts to shift and split apart. He hits a gas pocket.
See the blue flame come up out of the
Yeah.
hole. Yep.
Massive blowout. It blows the armadillo and Max to hell, and Max is dead at this
Man.
point.
Yeah, and Rockhound's just like, bye, Max.
And this is
Take care, buddy.
the end because to them the other ship has crashed. This is
Yeah,
it for
there's
them.
Yeah.
nothing left.
And Jenna calls it. She's like, they're gonna roll up right now, right?
Because I mean, like, what else?
Right.
What else is gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like,
Of course.
Yes.
The world mourns. We've just received word they've suffered a catastrophic failure up there in
Yeah.
space. And
Yeah.
I'm
Once
like-
again, though, the music, the cut, like this is all just B-roll too at this
Yeah.
point. There's no characters in this.
No.
You see,
Paris explodes.
you know, some farm family.
and a little appetizer asteroid.
That's right.
It is though.
Yeah.
But like you see the farm family going to like the
bunker.
shelter into the bunker, and
Yeah.
other people are starting to pray, and gatherings are happening, and
Mm-hmm.
you know you see like the homeless guy in New York City with the end of the world sign. But once again, montage within a montage
Yeah.
movie, it takes a couple moments just to like, yeah, we all know the armadillo is gonna come,
Right.
But there's still like I think
But
the
they
tension.
don't.
Well, the people on Earth don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like,
I
they
think
don't.
that the tension of this moment is just awesome for the movie, even though we all know that the armadillo's on its way.
I think it's still the best moment as far as it being a rousing moment when AJ pulls up in the armadillo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they all go crazy, and Bruce Willis and them are all cheering and like,
because it adds to that. Because like I think Bruce Willis's setup line is a little hammy when he's like, "Get a hold of Truman,
yeah.
prepare the world for bad news." Like,
Did you miss me? I think that's what he says, right? That's
Well,
and he's like,
yeah, when he gets
"Damn,
there.
glad to see you, boy."
Yeah,
yeah.
That's 6 words.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
And I love back in Houston, and the guy's like, "Your boyfriend's back."
That's
Like,
right.
I thought that was cute. And she was like,
And this is actually NASA protocol for duct taping somebody with space dementia, and so they just duct tape
Yep.
Steve Buscemi up. Right?
I mean,
So I'm just trying to have some fun before I die.
yeah, like, you know what? That was a good choice.
They get to 70. They get to 100. They get down to 770.
770.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they hit a gas pocket, and they're going to have another blowout. And this is the payoff moment for AJ where he says, we can push through. You
Yep.
got to trust me. And Bruce Willis says, it's your call, AJ. Right?
Pushing through. 770.
Yeah.
776. 779.
Go
And also,
through,
like, I mean, obviously, it's like a huge moment when they hit 800.
800.
But like,
It is-
would 770 not have been enough?
Yeah,
according to the
Would
math.
that 30 feet would have just really
According to
not
the
done
math.
it?
According to the math.
According to the math.
Yeah, maybe
800.
800 was the bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
like-
In order to
Yeah.
split this rock on the fault plane, we got to dig to 800 feet.
Yeah.
That's right. Not 772.
Not 772.
Not 772. Not 779.
Right. And by the time they hit 800, they still got 38 minutes left.
The cutting between though, like there's like rev it home, and like you
Yeah.
know Bear's coming in with the last pipe, and
Yeah.
he's like clip it down, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
But
Chew this iron bitch up.
You
seriously,
say they only had 38 minutes left, but they still had so much to do.
Well, I
They
didn't
had to
think
get like
they
all
did.
the pipes
Yeah.
out.
you know you're looking into the details.
I would
a
have
little too much there.
I
40
definitely
minutes.
would have left the armadillo behind. I would have been like, you know what? Nope, we're good. Just
Yeah.
pull it out, dump it in, let's go.
40 minutes. You could have had a snack before you left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and they got plenty of time. Like
Be
round-
so for real.
a round of Uno. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Right?
Nope.
Like
They're
like,
like,
oh, we got to get this bent
Oh,
pipe.
we gotta get
out
this.
of here.
Draw four.
He's like, we gotta get the bent pipe out. That will take 10 seconds.
Like, of course, there's
That's
a bent
whatever.
pipe. This is what Jenna was talking about. Like every possible thing
Yep.
that could
Every-
stall them.
Yep.
And then,
It's gonna
well, and then
stall
it
them.
like starts to
The
like
asteroid starts to get angry.
It
Yeah.
knows they're there to kill it.
knows
So
we're-
it starts to.
Uh-huh.
There's like a
'Cause it's
storm.
it
An
knows we're here to
asteroid
kill
storm.
it.
Yeah, what's what? That's never made sense to me. That the asteroid
No.
just starts getting pissed off and breaking up and all this stuff. And I'm
That part doesn't make sense.
no, I mean, there's a lot that doesn't. But there's so I can suspend my disbelief and be like, okay, whatever. But there really is no reason for the asteroid to fight
Yeah, it's
back.
not like they've entered into a different gravity field.
Conflict.
It's just,
Literally
yeah,
to add
exactly.
conflict.
Maybe.
That's the
Need
reason.
more conflict.
Maybe the asteroid. Maybe it had developed a conscience.
It's being controlled by aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
back to-
They're flying it.
Back
Another-
to you know
another-
what? Back to James's cutaway of two little alien pilots in
Yes.
the middle of the asteroid, like pushing buttons.
That's what it is.
We drilled right into them, and they're like, "What the hell?"
It's the turtle aliens from Laser Blast. That's what it is.
And the turtle alien pushes the button, and it's like activate storm.
That's right.
Activate storm.
Like in Truman Show.
Yes.
It was also
Asteroid
1998.
storm.
Exactly.
Increase the
Activated.
wind.
Increase the yes, exactly. Oh,
got
what
it.
if the Truman Show and Armageddon was like a
There you go.
mashup movie?
You're gonna kill these drillers. He doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. All right. The bomb goes down the hole after everyone. Only the one
No,
other
but
astronaut,
the
Gruber, gets
detonators
killed.
But
busted.
wait.
Well, we're getting there. Yeah.
More
But
conflict.
wait.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
The
also, it
triggers-
took them forever to saw the pipe or whatever that was in the hole.
Because AJ was down there when the asteroid got angry. He was
Yeah.
down in the
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
hole.
He's like, "What's going on up there?"
Just using a sawzall
Yeah.
to cut through this bent pipe, right?
Yeah, and he's like, "Give me 15 seconds," and he hasn't even made a dent.
No,
in it.
literally.
If this was going to be accurate, the housing of the nuclear weapon would have been about a quarter inch too fat for the hole. Right?
Yes.
I mean, that's anytime I've had to go back with a fatter drill bit and re-drill.
Let's try that.
Wait,
again.
how much time do we have?
Oh, man. The bomb goes down the hole. The trigger is dead. Okay. And so they're like, somebody has to stay behind to set off. And they're like, we got to draw straws. But everyone to a man volunteers.
Yeah.
Like AJ volunteers. Billy Ficker volunteers.
He's got to fly the.
He has to
says-
fly the- no, he's
his
like,
whole,
takes
his
two
whole
people.
thing is like takes two people to fly his plane.
Right.
Either we all stay and die, or you guys draw straws.
Right.
Thankfully, he has a variety of straws.
But pretty much everyone
The
else.
duct tape guy
His
even wants
grasp.
to die, apparently.
Everyone else wants to do. He's like, I
Yeah.
know you don't trust me, but I'd really like this responsibility.
I would have been like, "Go
Yeah.
ahead."
Right.
It is kind of like because Bruce Willis's line is, "No one's gonna draw straws. I'm just gonna stay and take care of it." Which
And then Chick's like, "Well, I can't live with that."
Right. So I guess I'm going to draw against you. And Bear goes, well, let's just draw and see who's going to stay and dance, right? That's
Yep.
I think what Bear says.
and that's when it is. That's when he holds up.
Yeah,
the,
he's just like, "Whew,
Yep.
I have straws.
By the way,
Look at this. And in the exact amount that we need and variety pack.
That's just what they have on
they had a swizzle straw.
spaceships, I guess. Yeah.
They had a swizzle one. And
One that's spelled out
color-coordinated.
like
You're dead.
NASA.
Yeah. AJ draws the short straw. And so he's like, hey, everybody's got to die. I get to do it saving the world. Right.
Yeah.
And so Bruce Willis goes, I'll take him down. And they're going to go down in the
You're like, I wonder
elevator.
what's about to happen.
And he says, first time I saw it, I didn't know this was.
Oh,
gonna
that's
happen.
what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so he's sacrificing himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Tell
says,
Grace that I'll always be with her.
Yeah. And he says, "Yep." And as the elevator door opens, he pops the hose on the back of
Pulls his oxygen tube out of his helmet.
Yeah, why did he need to do that, by the way?
so that he literally couldn't stay out there.
Oh,
or
yeah.
he would
Yeah.
die. Right, and shoves him back into the elevator and goes out and
Airlocks it.
Well, it gives him his patch, too, on his...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like, give this to Truman.
Tears off the
Make
patch.
sure Truman gets
'cause he
that.
said he never got the mission patch.
Yep, he wanted
before,
to
'cause
be
he
on
wanted to
the
be that. Yeah,
shuttle.
and Ben Affleck, I appreciate what he did here. He goes full ugly cry
Yes.
in this moment, and he said he did that on purpose.
Yes.
Because there's moments like this where everybody they'd be worried about how bad it would make them look, and they want to be the stiff upper lip, action hero guy. But he's like, Bruce Willis is going to do that, so I need to be the opposite and go blubbery. And he's scream crying at him, right?
Well,
Right?
I mean, he's pretty young. Like,
It's my job,
Yeah.
he says to him, right? Like, you got to let me do it. It's my job. You're going to take care of my little girl. That's your job.
Hey, you know what? Ben Affleck got a lot of flack in the early 2000s for other things, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say Armageddon should not be one of them.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
No, because he's like you said, and the elevator's going, and he's just like, Harry, no, Harry, I love you.
And he's
like on the
doing his
floor.
speech and all that. And Jenna, in the dead silence in between one of these lines, goes, "Can we speed this up, please?" Because this whole thing's about to go, and because the clock is ticking, and you thought they were
Like,
taking way too long.
I hate when movies do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean,
That's
when
like
the
this
horror movies when
entire
girls run up the
movie.
stairs, like literally,
Right.
it's just like,
Just go.
just go.
Like, okay, thanks, bye, and get out
It
of
was
there.
sweet. I'm just like, okay,
Right.
Yeah.
like he knows he's on a time crunch. so
Guys,
I don't-
we got 15 minutes left,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
come on.
yeah.
They get Grace on the phone with her dad for the scene from the music video with the hand on the monitor.
Right, that was the one of the iconic shots of the music video.
Yes, of the music video.
Yes.
Because Steve Tyler was on all those screens in the music
Yes.
video at one point, right? Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, the music video is something.
That's rough.
It's a classic 90s music video
Yeah.
though. Like,
And he
you
tells-
don't make them like that anymore.
He tells Grace, "I have to break my promise," and take care of AJ and tell Chick that, and he's
Yeah.
literally, they can all hear him
Yeah.
on the comms.
Yeah.
I like how it's this intimate moment between a father who's about to die and his daughter, and like the whole of NASA is just like
Listening.
"Whoa."
Yeah.
Like, there should have just been a cutaway to like a NASA guy eating popcorn.
Yeah,
Like,
this is so sad.
So sad.
I do like the fact that they added that like she used to call him Harry and now she's calling him Dad and
Yeah.
stuff. It's just
Well, then the line
that's
of like,
nice.
I wish
Yeah,
I could
good
be there to
pickup.
walk you
Good
down the
pickup.
aisle.
Oh, that one, I was
God.
like,
Oh.
oh,
That
stop.
literally like hurts my soul.
Stop.
And again,
Yeah.
like so it's funny, my mom makes fun of me
Yeah.
because the ending of Armageddon always makes me tear up and cry. And she's like, really? Armageddon's the movie that makes you cry? And
Yeah,
I'm just
man.
like, Bruce Willis reminds me of Dad.
Yeah.
Like, leave me
Yeah.
alone.
Come on.
look,
it's a great moment.
grown men cry during Armageddon.
I got emotional
Yeah.
last
There's a
night.
few times.
Yeah.
And this isn't even what does it for me.
And they come, oh, yeah?
Oh, no,
the
well,
part
like,
that- okay, well, you let
we'll-
me know
we'll
when we
get
get
to
to
it,
that part.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
Cuts back into this, and even Harry's like, "Why haven't you guys left yet?" Right? And
Fair question.
frickin' space shuttle won't start
Because we got a busted
Shocker.
ship.
Someone
Eye
needs
roll
to.
after eye roll, bro.
I needed Princess Leia to go. Would it help if I got out and pushed? Like that's what I like. The Millennium Falcon is what I thought of in this
yeah.
moment, right? Where I'm like, this piece
enough.
of junk. Oh, come on, we're staying, we're going, we're staying.
Yep.
Right. I think it was Boucher.
I just like that they at least they
spot picked out there.
at least they poke fun at
Yeah.
the fact that it's like one thing after another. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
we staying, we going. What are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
So Lev goes back into the room where she's trying to.
Watts is trying to.
get.
Watts is going through the manual and stuff.
It's like Russian components, American components, all made in Taiwan.
yes.
And he goes, "This is how we fix things on the space station." He goes, "Oh, bye," and he starts freaking racking the wrench into the side of this thing.
and then it turns. He's like, yes, now we can go home.
Go home.
Yeah.
Let's go, Boogie. We're no time. We have no time. Fixtures saying up for
No fire.
That's right.
Yeah. No time. No fire.
finally take off. He's like, "Come on, get some altitude." Like they're taking off. They got moments to spare.
We need another minute.
Then the timer's going. Bruce Willis gets blasted by another asteroid storm down the frickin'
Yeah, because
You know.
he says, "Complain all you want, you son of a bitch."
yeah.
Yep.
And then the
Gets up.
asteroid's like,
And it's like, all right.
He gets the thing in his hand with, I want to say, 15 seconds left to go.
Yeah.
Push the GD.
He's buying them
button.
time though, because I feel like part of him knows that like
He doesn't
there's
have
as much time as
here's
possible.
the thing: is he doesn't have the clock.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
You could, for all he knows, he could already be at the failsafe.
There's
Right.
so much happening in this final moment of the
You're like,
movie.
push
though.
the button, Stamper.
Push the button.
Yeah.
Like, you got Billy Bob Thornton. Press the button, Stamper. Fichtner at this point is like, we're going to turn around and go do it ourselves.
Right,
AJ's
because you have
great line.
time.
AJ's.
Great line from AJ here. He won't fail.
And Will Patton, too.
Yeah.
Colonel, I'm asking you
Yeah.
one more minute.
That's right.
And like,
And when Will Patton
Yes.
yells at you, you go, okay.
Harry will do it.
and yes, like you said,
He doesn't
great,
know how to fail.
great line from AJ. Harry'll do it. He doesn't know how to fail.
Right.
And like he says it with that wry
Yeah.
little, like one little crooked
Like
smile.
I've been crying a lot.
Right.
Yes.
And
Press
he gets
it.
it with 1 second. Like, dude, that's too close when you need that much time to clear
Right.
the freaking
Because
Earth.
it still has to
Hey.
explode.
Right.
It doesn't just immediately go pooh.
NASA said, just do it before zero barrier. Doesn't matter if it's 5
Yeah.
seconds. Doesn't matter
NASA
if it's
also
one
didn't
second.
know
Dom
that-
Toretto now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
NASA also didn't know that
It doesn't matter.
an
whether-
asteroid the size of Texas
That's right.
was coming towards Earth.
It
so,
doesn't
I
matter.
don't
We
know.
blow it up within an inch or a mile. Blowing it up is
Yeah.
blowing it up. But no, this is where I get it. When he finally grabs it, everyone's yelling, and it is that the sound
Yeah.
drowns out for that split second because he says, "We win, Gracie."
Yeah.
And he hits the button, and it goes to that flash montage, which, sure, it's a completely superfluous flash montage, right? But the score picks up. You see little Grace on the swing.
I know.
In her cut. She's jumping around, and it's like,
His lifelink is flashing.
yes.
Eyes, yeah.
It's so cheesy, but God, I love it.
To me, the worst part in the entire movie
Is that
was
part?
the weird, like,
It's
like
like
these
the-
weird close-up
yeah,
shots.
like-
of them in front of them.
yeah.
Like her on the swing makes sense, but what the hell was that other?
Yeah,
like,
and she was like,
Madonna Vogue video.
It was. It is. No, you're right. That was the exact.
What the hell
and they were
is
both
that?
like, I feel like they were both maybe naked too. I'm not
That's
sure.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, one-
To me, that was the worst part.
It was like the sex scene in Demolition Man.
It looked like Sandy Bullock had put her sex helmet on, and
Stallone was like,
Stallone
"What's
was like,
going on?
what is this?
What is this?"
All right, they land. They come in for the landing. Oh gosh, Chick's ex-wife is there on the tarmac to give him a hug with his kid, and everyone's
heart.
there. And AJ runs up, and she's got a big cheesy grin on her face,
Yeah.
Grace. And my wife turns to me and goes, "You know, no offense, I would be happy to see you in this scenario, but if my dad had just blown up, I don't think I'd have a big eating grin on my face." You know.
I mean,
Sure.
like,
Fine.
Smiling is one thing, but she was like,
yay, babe.
literally jumping into his arms.
I've known you for,
Yeah.
well, we've been together
6
for 6
months.
months.
Yeah.
Woo.
And then we get the Super 8 footage of the wedding of AJ and Grace.
You get the.
It's great. It's a great moment. Lev's there.
Oh,
You get
yeah.
finally we get to listen to the Aerosmith song
Yeah.
in its entirety.
They
Because
have all the
up until
photos
this
up
moment,
too.
it's just
All
been
the
little
photos,
snippets of it, right?
Yeah.
And now we finally get, and Ben Affleck actually filmed the footage.
Well, it was his camera.
Yes.
Yes. But Bay shot it because he's in most of the footage.
Yeah.
But it was it was Ben's
Oh,
Super 8.
okay. So it was Ben's Super 8 that Michael Bay personally shot.
Yes.
I could stay awake
Yeah.
just to hear you breathing. Watch you smile while you are dreaming. Oh, wait.
Well, the
far
away dreaming.
I could spend my life
In this sweet surrender.
Stay lost in this moment
Forever. I just want to stay with you in this moment forever. Forever and ever. Don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep.
There you go.
Wow.
And that's the-
that's the end of the movie.
Hey,
That was beautiful. I'm like tearing up.
hey. That song was nominated for an Oscar.
Wow.
Wow.
Really?
That's scary.
That's also,
Yes.
it was also in the same year nominated for a Razzie for Worst Song. In the same year.
Was
Look.
it really?
Yes.
Yes. But the thing is, Razzies are a little more political.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a song about stalking and
Yeah.
being a stalker.
Yeah, pretty
a
much.
creepy stalker.
Bruce Willis. You know, Bruce Willis won the Razzie for Worst Actor.
Oh, did he really?
Yes, he did.
That's ridiculous.
For Armageddon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh, are you exhausted from all that?
I am a little exhausted, but
'Cause,
also ready to say, like, as star-studded as this movie was, it could have
Oof.
been a little more star-studded.
oh, just
right?
a little bit.
I think it was supposed to be originally.
It was actually.
Wait, really?
So originally,
Which role?
Arnold for Harry before Bruce Willis got the part.
and he was just going to punch the asteroid out
That's
of
right.
the sky.
We win, Gracie. Ah! No, what happens is Arnie, like, it's like the nuke, we can't detonate it. Not only is it not, bro, they can't detonate it at all. So he says, listen to me, I'll take care of it. Get on the plane. Get to the spaceship. Ah! Right? They all get on the spaceship. They take off, and he just squats down and puts a hand on each side
Rips
and
it in
rips the asteroid in half. Okay?
You know, one of the fans of the show, Russ Barney, I'll throw your name out there.
Yes.
He's the reason I knew that little tidbit.
Oh, yeah?
Because he knew Armageddon was coming up, and he's like
Nice.
really excited. And he was like, "Did you know that Arnold was supposed to be Harry?" And I was
Oh,
like, "That would
nice.
have been insane
Would've been incredible.
and ridiculous." And he was the
Gosh.
one that said Arnold would just
Can't
punch
even.
the asteroid and
That's
knock
right.
it off course.
Just- that's what I'm saying. Like, he just dropped the elbow or whatever, ripped
I-
the thing in half.
I have another idea.
Oh,
What
we're-
if he was Gracie in the Animal Cracker scene?
What if he was one of the animal crackers?
Listen to me.
The animal crackers are going up to his humongous pecs.
Do you think that right now there's somebody somewhere doing the same thing we are?
And then AJ just picks him up and twirls him around. Oh my gosh.
That would be incredible. Also,
Try to
I
watch
mean,
Ben Affleck twirl
Right.
Arnie. Oh,
also you could have him be Billy Fricker's part. He could be the no nonsense, Air Force.
What about
Yeah.
Lev?
the guy, right? Lev, Austrian.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, it's like
this is the Austrian space station.
all made in Taiwan.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very small because we didn't have a lot of money in Austria. And
I
it's
I barely
tiny-
fit.
He barely fits. He would just be hunched over in there. Listen, don't touch anything because I'm constantly bumping levers. This gets over here, he gets to 160, it's okay. When he gets to 200, get out of here now.
Get out.
Be incredible. But what if he was Will Patton, right? I mean,
As
if he
Chick.
was Chick, the right-hand man, right? And he's just so we could get Arnold going, what are you doing with a gun in space?
That's
That'd be awesome.
no, we can never take that from Will.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no,
we
never.
can never take that from Will. Patton.
Tyler Richardson comes in and he says, the great thing about this movie is that there are so many actors, so many characters. I don't think Arnold needs to switch with anybody. Just put him in there as a different character and give him his own lines. James, I trust you. Give him some unique lines for Armageddon.
Wow, what do you? Oof,
Yeah.
that's a tough one, huh?
That's true. You know what? Just have him. There's another guy that we need. Make sure you go over to. He's going to be at the local arcade instead of Caesar's Palace, and it's just Arnold playing asteroids, right? In the arcade.
like, yes, you are the one we need.
That's right. If it explodes, I'll kill it. No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on. Because I'm trying to think of from the asteroid's perspective. It's just this little ship that blows it up, right? I hate getting put on the spot
shift
like
in
this.
velocity.
No, hold on. I'm thinking through this.
We got you.
You got
He
it.
gets
You got it.
because I get put on the spot here.
I know.
He gets on the asteroid. He tells everybody to go, right? And he defeats it because he pulls out a giant piece of paper out of his spacesuit.
I make a sale.
Paper beats rock. Ah! Right? And he just slams the thing into the crevice where they drilled and then rips it apart.
Yep.
Right?
I'm here for it.
Wait,
All right.
James, that's the Mylar sale that they were talking
That's what-
about.
oh, yeah, perfect,
Yeah, see,
perfect.
so Arnie just puts
Okay.
the sale on it.
Jeez. Esteban Alonso goes, picture Ben Affleck narrating a National Geographic special on Arnold's rugged abs. There you go, Jenna.
Wow, look at that.
Or him stepping into Danny Truman's shoes, delivering the film's single permitted F-bomb. But let's be real. We just want Arnold as Rockhound, if only to hear him drop some legendary... Well, hold on a second here. I didn't show her how to use it. I just told her. Okay, it's ridiculous. Harry, I just want to feel the power between my legs. This one looks like you. This is the girl with medium breasts. This is a girl with huge breasts. This looks like you with breasts. It'd be good.
It would be great.
I like that one, Esteban. Charlie Francois playing along with us. It's hard to take any actor away from this cast as each role seemed tailor-made. But anyway, I think the choice is obvious. Arnold is the asteroid.
Austrian bodybuilder the size of Texas.
It's an
Mr.
Austrian bodybuilder the size of Texas, Mr. President. Cut to Arnie hurdling through space going,
That is awesome.
damage total, sir. It's what we call a global killer.
Yes.
Yes, be incredible.
Love that.
Here I come, Earth. Yeah. Mark Gussick, the goose is loose. And he goes, maybe you should have him play the asteroid.
Yeah.
Just imagine the so-called drillers trying to get through those abs of steel. You landed us right on his abdomen, sir. Okay?
You overshot the landing
Overshot
field.
the landing. We're supposed to land right on
Right-
his nipples.
yeah, right on his
and the
nipples.
soft nips. But now I got to drill through his abs.
I don't
ridiculous.
see Arnold having soft nips.
No, he probably doesn't. And then finally, old man Eglin, Josh playing along, says, for no other reason, I just want to hear James attempt this. I think the movie would be better if Arnold was singing the song.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do it.
Yep, do it.
Hold on a second. They get to be like Steven Tyler. How does the song start? I already forgot.
I could stay awake.
Listen, I could stay awake just to hear you dreaming. Watch you smile while you are sleeping. While you're far away and dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. And the moment spent with you is the moment as a treasure.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was actually.
That was really good.
Yep.
All right, thanks,
Oh,
Josh.
I love it.
Give a round of applause for that.
All right,
There we go.
thank you. I appreciate it. How about we give some awards here, and let's start with the Will Patton Award for Intensity. Let's go.
Here we go.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure
They remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Yeah.
What are you doing with a gun,
Gun in space.
Oh, Will. All right. I can handle what we got to do. I don't know if I can handle this award.
This award section.
right
Too much.
now. What's gonna happen? Oh man! All right. Well, let's go. Let's start with Tyler. Tyler says, "I know Will Patton's in the movie, and I will come back to him, but I believe Bruce Willis is the most intense actor in the film. He always has a look like he's ready to slap someone, whether it's him whispering, screaming, or chasing someone with a shotgun. My wife also wants to have Keith David as an honorable mention, which I very much agree with. Yeah. All right. There you go, Steph. Who is the Will Patton nominee?
I know it's so hard because obviously Will Patton's in this, but I don't think his character set him up.
I agree.
For the intensity that he normally brings.
Let me just let everybody off the hook because I have a feeling every single patron's going to preface this same way.
Probably.
As you did. I am not picking Will Patton. I just
I know we were watching last time. I'm like, do I have to pick Will Patton because it's
No.
a Will Patton movie?
And I set that up in The Punisher. I said you don't have to.
Yeah.
But in that one, it was the right answer.
Yeah, it ended up being the right answer for
Yes.
the Punisher.
Well, they were wrong. It was the right. Whoever voted against it, you voted for.
I voted for him.
I know.
I thought I wasn't going to when we
Yeah.
first were talking about
That's
it.
right.
And then after watching the Punisher again, I was like,
Yeah.
never mind.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go.
No, you're good. I think Billy Bob Thornton did a really good job in this movie.
Nice.
I felt like he brought every line, and even though he was that throwaway of like Expo Dump, he did such a good job at it that it didn't feel like he was just
Expo dumping.
Yeah.
which I think requires a lot of intensity and just doing your job well
Sure.
to pull that off. I've always thought that he did a great job as Truman, and I pick him.
All right, that's awesome. Respect. Estevan Alonso says Jessica Steen as co-pilot Watts brought intensity to her role. Like Rockhound, we too want to know when we start training for that. Yeah, we cannot give it to her as she didn't have the screen time considering who else was in the movie for fear of disappointing the BMR gods or worse, invoking the wrath of Jack Dean and him withholding pictures of his meat. This must go to Will Patton. I love it.
There you go.
Honorable mention, the asteroid was intense AF, just saying.
Yeah.
I think Will had, I'm not going to pick up, I think he had moments certainly of intensity.
For sure.
Yeah, especially at the end there. So I won't begrudge somebody that picks him.
No,
but
I feel like there's not a shortage of choices in this movie. There's definitely a lot of people who could take this award.
I was thinking about Max for a minute.
I said that last night.
You stick me with that, I'm going to stab you in the heart with it.
Yeah, like, or even when he's like, the Cubs win the World Series.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
It's a tough one. Bruce Willis, who more or less got stuck doing this movie because of a contract fallout, right? So he owed Disney money and he had to do Armageddon, The Sixth Sense, and The Kid.
Yeah.
Which ended up making Disney a lot of money. And he just did it to avoid getting sued.
Right.
And then he ends up winning Worst Actor at the Razzies for Armageddon. He won Worst Actor at the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
And it is crazy to me because he brings, like, this is an interesting Bruce Willis performance, in my opinion. He brings a different side of a character. Like, we all know him as John McClane, and we know he can play, like, the burnt-out cop character and all this other stuff. And, like, Harry Stamper is an interesting little blot on his filmography. And, I
love it.
I agree in the sense of, like, Billy Bob Thornton. He has the throwaway job of every scene is exposition, and he never gets a character moment except for the one little, like, scene with his foot, which is a throwaway scene that no one really remembers. No. But for intensity, I think I am going to give it to Bruce Willis.
All right. So that's our second vote.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. I don't think that's the wrong vote at all. I'm waiting for me. I don't know if I've made up my mind yet. I haven't even.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a wrong vote for
to
this
be honest.
one,
Even last night, for a moment, I was thinking Peter Stormare for the cosmonaut.
See, and I thought him too.
Every scene he's in, he's cranked up to 11.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Charlie Francois says Billy Bob Thornton as Dan
Yeah.
in this
a good choice.
hodgepodge battle royale of over-the-top acting. Dan was the only character I believed in. Billy Bob blessed every scene he touched, keeping his hot air balloon of a movie firmly grounded and single-handedly reinflating it with everything he said. He positively towers over the rest of the cast in terms of acting quality, and so he gets my vote. So it's a 2-2 tie right now.
And well said. 100% like agree, but man, here we go.
Jenna, who's your vote for?
I was at first thinking about Lev, and just like you guys said, just the fact that he was literally 100% the whole time, anytime he's on screen.
Yeah.
But I am gonna say Bruce Willis. I kind of like immediately was thinking of him for my intensity award, just with the shotgun scene when he's chasing around Agent. Just like immediately, I was like, okay, that's the
Like,
energy
that's
he's putting
intense.
out. Yeah.
Right.
So
Like his face,
All right.
his
I love
face
it.
when he says, "Make your peace with God, AJ."
Yeah, and he has like a crazy eye.
Gussick says, I would give this to the asteroid itself. I mean, this thing is so freaking intense that it wants to destroy the entire planet, but he's kidding. This is actually going to the namesake of the award, Mr. Will Patton himself. Gets a second vote. He's just amazingly intense in this movie, as I've expected him to be at this point. I mean, what are you doing with a gun in space? I agree, Mark. So we got 2-2-3 right now. It's coming into a close
We got 2 Billy Bob,
race.
3 Bruce Willis,
And 2 for Will Patton.
and 2 Will Patton.
And I'm going with none of them, so I'm not going to be a help because I do think it's Peter Stormare as Lev.
There you go.
This guy went, I am doing this part so hard, and it's all made in Taiwan. Like everything, right?
Yep.
The scene where they're jumping to this day, when somebody asks me odds on something, I go 50-50. Like I say it all the time.
you do.
I say,
Yeah, you do.
do.
Can confirm.
When I'm at work, I do maintenance, right?
Yeah.
I've said to my coworkers before, I'm like, the American components, the Russian components, they're all made in Taiwan.
That's right.
And no one gets it.
No, dude.
But
That makes me sad.
I am the only qualified astronaut.
only certified astronaut
that is saving an
American ass.
It's so for me, it's him. None of you are wrong. Nobody's wrong.
Oh no,
That's just my personal.
the whole movie's dialed up to 11. Like,
Yeah.
how are we gonna?
But I'm
The
gonna,
intensity
land
work
it?
goes to the whole movie itself.
if Eglin ties this by picking Billy Bob or Will Patton, I'm gonna have to break the tie because I'm the only one that didn't pick one of those guys. So
Guess we're gonna find
we'll
out.
find out here what Eglin said. He goes, I thought about giving this to multiple people. At the end of the day, I couldn't see myself giving it to anyone but Bruce Willis. He just sends it home here, no doubter. Harry Stamper is one of his coolest characters. By the time this episode is aired, I'll have just started a job similar to theirs, and I hope I have a boss as badass as Harry. Well, safety first, Josh, when you're out there drilling that oil.
Yeah.
But that means that Bruce Willis is going to win. And no small feat to win the Will Patton Award in a movie that has Will Patton in it. Okay?
Did you know that back in the 80s, Bruce Willis and Will Patton both auditioned for a Broadway musical together?
Did they really?
And
I had no
I
idea.
cannot remember which one was which's understudy, but I think Will Patton beat
What, do
Bruce
you know what
Willis for the
musical?
award.
Oh.
No, I don't remember. It's
That's interesting.
I know Bruce is a musical person. Like, he has a band. He's a singer.
yeah.
Is that William?
This is Bill Patton right here. Or
Oh, I
Bill.
meant-
Will.
Is
I
that
was
William?
gonna say, I was like, what?
His name is William, but I mean, yeah, that's Will Patton from The Postman. So
I just turned around, I saw him, and I was like,
so he's got
That
a
was the-
beard here, so he looks a little different. But this is when you hear the montage, you're going, "You want a war?" That's from this movie. Yeah,
Love that scene in The
good.
Postman, too.
So good.
Walking around the burning
Anyway.
wagon. Like,
He's so pissed. It's not over yet, right? That's what he says. Yeah. All right. Tyler Richardson is going to kick us off here because now we got to move on over to the worst actor in the movie. Who's the person that, while they doesn't mean they're a bad actor, but in this film it wasn't quite good enough? It's the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, and neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
Gosh, can you imagine if Seagal was in Armageddon?
gosh, it would be such a terrible movie.
He was like, if he was
He could have been the pineapple dude.
Billy Fricker. If he was the pilot.
Pineapple dude. That runs eating my
Godzilla man.
That's right. Anyway, all right. Tyler Richardson says, I feel Liv Tyler is going to catch hate unfairly for being one of only two characters, female characters in a Michael Bay movie. I think she did more than what she was written on the page. A really good actor who seemed flat, phoning it in, and uninterested was Billy Bob Thornton.
Wow.
We've all seen what he can do on screen. So what was this boring attempt at a character? Owen Wilson or Arnold would have been more entertaining than this monotone speaking piece of drywall. Wow.
Plant your flag, man.
I love Tyler. I love that flag plant, man.
That's
Go for it.
that's
hefty.
something. That's a hell of a flag
Yeah.
plant.
Let's hear it, Steph.
Okay, so I don't think my opinion's going to be liked much either, but I'm giving it to Keith David.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think that he did a great job. I mean, I thought he was rather flat with like the delivery of his lines. Like he was trying too hard to be that general kind of dude, and like he didn't show too much emotion other than just like assholery. So
yeah.
I don't know. He didn't do it for me, and I didn't buy it, and I'm giving him the trash can.
That's fair. I never thought I'd ever hear Keith David get a trash can vote in anything.
Yeah.
I love that guy. But
Yeah.
when you have this stacked of a
Right,
cast,
and that's exactly like he's not a bad actor by any means.
No.
But
Against
in this,
everyone else.
against everybody else, he fell really flat.
yeah, I
to me.
got you. Estevan says, we're giving this to that one guy who decided to overact and thereby was a trash can full of dirt. We get that Affleck was still young, but seriously, how many times did he ugly cry?
Only once.
Maybe it just felt excessive because he was sharing key moments with Bruce and couldn't quite keep up. When Bruce called him son, all I could think was, this guy isn't worthy of your daughter, let alone your love.
Oh my God.
I love these flag plants. Honestly,
So
why wasn't
aggressive.
he the one blasted into space so Max could step in and save the day instead? That's a Ben Affleck
Dude.
vote for the trash can.
Oh my gosh.
no,
Wow.
no.
Ryan, I can't wait to hear who you're going with.
No, because this movie is just full of awesome performances. How do we pick one that's gonna like rival
as hard as you can.
Steven Seagal for the trash can full
by
of
just
dirt?
doing it.
You got to try as hard
Gosh,
as you can.
like I
Ryan.
said, how dare anyone
Just
even
like
say
whichever actor gets it, try it
Affleck.
just as hard as they could.
man?
Yeah.
How dare anyone say Affleck
Yeah.
or Billy Bob or anybody? This is a
They did. They
damn
did it hard too.
genius casting
Yeah.
of the 90s right here, everyone. Jesus. The
Okay,
trash
well-
can full of dirt. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. How dare anyone say Liv Tyler? She is going to get some.
Probably.
How dare you?
I mean, not for me.
How dare anybody?
I'm a fan of Liv Tyler.
Yes.
Okay, we'll just put that out there right now.
I'm a fan of everybody in this movie.
Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay, well, who is the least
You know,
fan
the
person
least
that you are?
fan, like if I had to pick
Who
someone,
did the worst in the movie?
You know who it
Doesn't mean
was?
they were bad. Listen, because when everyone's good, you're talking about who was the least good as opposed to who was
Yes.
bad.
who was the
Exactly.
least good out of everybody?
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you. But you know what? You know who really ruined it?
Who?
Random guy at the top of the shuttle bay when he's like, Freedom Crew, Independence Crew. And like,
You're giving it to that guy?
he points to the left and he points to the right. And
All
he's
right.
and that's all he
He's
says.
probably an actual tech from NASA.
That's probably
Probably.
why, and that's why they could have just put a trash can full of dirt
With a
there
sign?
with a sign that said "Freedom to the left, independence to the right."
That's, you know what? That's valid,
You
Ryan.
know what?
It's
I don't know
valid.
what to tell you guys.
No,
there we
yes,
go.
That's 100% valid. Charlie Francois says Steven Seagal trash can goes to Frederick Weller as NASA tech. See that guy that runs in with a pile of papers and struggles to put any soul into his only line? We have 18 days before it hits Earth. Yeah, he was bad.
Actually, that's a great choice.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I didn't even think about him, and that he has like almost arguably the most important line of like the entire movie.
Yeah.
We have 18 days before it hits Earth.
Yeah.
No one's gotten 2 votes yet.
I
love
cannot
this.
believe that the one guy, man. You know what?
You know who was a good actor was the one NASA tech where he's like, maybe somebody that didn't have as much caffeine. Like that guy was like,
I think he actually just had too much
Yeah.
caffeine before they started filming, and they were
Wassler,
like,
the guy that played
Jesus,
Wassler.
What's wrong with this guy?
And he's freaking. He's like, maybe back in the 80s when a meteor or an asteroid could. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
that
that
guy.
guy. He was awesome.
Jenna, who's your trash can vote?
Well, after hearing that one, I like kind of want to switch it, but I was gonna say Liv Tyler.
Really?
Go for
Go for
it.
No,
Well,
I
I'm not
like
trying to talk you out of it.
I like all the actors in this movie, and I think she did a good job. It's just like sometimes it just felt like her face is very flat, like she just didn't show a lot of emotion in certain situations. And in the situations where she really did require emotion, she did like come through. But I felt like just like when it was just
Was she
any
worse?
other scene, I don't know.
Was she worse than the 18 days guy?
No. So I can I switch it? Is that
I mean, you
allowed?
can't- it's 100%.
He influenced my vote.
Up
so
to you. I mean, it's okay to say I was going to go with this person, but now that I've
okay.
thought
So
about
yeah,
it-
I was gonna go with Liv Tyler, but I agree with him.
All right.
to
That was close.
To Jenna's credit,
Good job, James.
hey, to your credit though, there is the scene when Bruce Willis does say that he's gonna do it, and there's like a cutaway to Liv Tyler like giving him like a look of like,
What?
and her
Yeah.
face
It
literally
was only
does nothing.
sometimes
Yes.
where I felt like she
It
just
is
wasn't doing
one of the
anything. Yeah.
flattest faces of all time.
Mark Gussick says trash can's got to go to Hulk Hogan and Santa with muscles.
There you go.
This award actually goes to Grayson McCouch as Gruber.
He was on my list.
I was fighting between him, Affleck, and Tyler, but I decided to choose him because it seemed like he couldn't act his way out of a wet paper bag. Mark, he wasn't great. He wasn't great, but you know who I'm going with? Who was that random? Who was that random Hispanic roughneck that like died and no one cared and we don't even know who the hell he was?
Freddie Noonan.
Freddie
The
Noonan.
pineapple guy?
No, it
Wait,
was,
No,
what?
no.
there was
Look,
there was the
there's
eighth
the
roughneck
eighth oil driller.
that no one.
There's no character developed. He has like 3 lines in the
Yes.
whole movie. Because when they're doing the table thing,
Yes.
it's Freddie Noonan, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I can't let you go up there alone."
Oh,
Yes.
Clark Heathcliff?
yeah,
sure.
Clark Heathcliff,
I have always thought
and
he's terrible because especially, and what makes him look extra bad is that the other 7 roughnecks are awesome. And so it makes him seem even worse by comparison.
He has no character introduction in the oil rig scene.
None.
In the come together montage, He has nothing.
Nothing.
He just appears, and it's like, hey, it's Freddie Noonan.
We
I don't even recognize this guy. Like, I don't think I even saw him.
It didn't even register that he was there.
I'm like,
Look, he
feel like he
even
wasn't there.
dies. He dies with Oscar.
Yeah.
Because AJ says, I just lost 2 of my friends back there.
Right. Oh,
we
that
just
guy?
crashed back there. I lost 2 of my friends. But like once
okay,
again,
yeah.
he has no death scene.
Nothing.
He's got his listed demand thing is like, hey, Noonan's got 2 women friends. He wants to see American citizens.
they were literally just like, get rid of this dude.
This feels like what? Like the Mandela effect? Like I feel
Yes.
like he was not there.
It didn't even register. We just covered this movie for 2 hours and didn't even mention him.
Yeah.
Because he might as well
and
not
I literally,
exist.
when you brought him
don't
up, I was like,
recognize
I
him.
don't know who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So-
And now,
Probably you're right. Probably the most memorable moment is when during the list of demands he says he's got a couple of lady friends he wants to see made.
yeah, and
American
he's like,
citizens. Yeah,
And that's it. He's just rubbing his hands together.
Yeah.
But
I don't
he
remember
has,
that.
I don't.
See?
She's like, I still don't know what you're
I
talking
love it.
about.
And I'm only because like I can tell you with confidence he has one line in the movie, and it's, I guess I can't let you go up there alone.
right when they're going around the table
Yeah.
or whatever with the
Okay.
Deep Blue Hero stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a valid vote then, because
Yeah, because who is that even?
yeah.
Last vote, Josh goes, it's hard to do because I think everyone brought their A game. I don't think my pick deserves this award by any means, but I got to plant my flag. So I'm going Gruber, a.k.a. pilot number 3. Wasn't a necessary character, and I always forget he's in the movie. I just watched it, and I'm already starting to forget what he looks like. All right, so
Wow.
Gruber and Flag Guy are tied, okay? You went Flag Guy, so it's up to the 3 of us to decide between Flag Guy and Gruber who's going to win
Wait,
the
okay,
award.
so Gruber's the one that I don't remember.
Gruber was the pilot.
Gruber's he's one of the
He helps the
munition
guy. He's
specialists.
the other astronaut that helps him disarm the nuke.
He's the red or
Okay,
blue.
okay.
He's the red or blue.
Oh, okay.
because,
Yeah, no. Okay.
but because you voted for one of the people that are tied, you can't
Okay.
do it. So I honestly think, you guys can tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think Gruber's worse than the Flag Guy, or worse than the 18 Days guy. Personally. He's bad.
He is bad. He was on my list. And
Was
like,
he really?
so the 18 Days guy was not
I didn't even
in
register
my
with me.
radar,
Yeah.
but Gruber was, because there's like a couple lines he delivers that I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
Like it's rough. So I'm going to go with Gruber.
All right. Sorry,
he has
Ryan. It
the-
doesn't matter what you think because
does.
me and Steph.
Yeah, bye.
Go ahead.
No, but he does. You know what? The other line that Gruber has that's like, here's your one moment to actually do something.
Yeah.
Because Rockhound's like, what happened to the other shuttle? What happened? And he's the one that comes in and is like, hey, you saw it yourself, man. They're gone.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
so
right.
terrible that
so
you saw it yourself, man. Like, you know what? I'm grieving. Like, F off.
Straight in the trash with Gruber.
You know, and like your 18 Days guy.
Yeah.
He's also the dude in Gone in 60 Seconds that has to be like, it's Raymond Calitri's order.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you got a one line, it's hard to get a one line.
I hear you.
Like correct.
Now we got to talk about who is the unsung hero of the movie. So this is someone in a small part that made the movie better with their little bit of screen time. Let's get it.
You know, every place you go, there's always someone who thinks he's a badass, right? Then there are those few who are. Are you some kind of a badass karate boy?
All right. Let's kick things off again with Tyler Richardson. And he says, honorable mentions for Buscemi and Stomare, but this award is obviously Will Patton's. He was the only grounded character in a circus when he was on screen. His acting was too good for what this movie was. And his character alone, it needs to have a drama film, and we would all watch it happily. Wow.
I would totally watch a movie about Chick Chapel.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Steph, who are you going with?
Will Patton.
All right.
Yep. I thought he doesn't have a ton of screen time, you know, and he's not a huge character. He is, but
maybe,
he's not.
Maybe 20 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, but every line that
In
he
the movie?
delivers, it's all just like perfection.
Yeah.
And he makes the movie better. He adds so much with his face when he says things that or like the scene with his ex-wife and his son.
Yeah.
And like the emotion that he displayed just on his face is enough to make you choke up. I think
for
that
sure.
he 1000% Will Patton.
That's awesome. All right. And Esteban Alonso comes in and says, we approached this by imagining which movie we'd love to see this character take the lead in. Picture a film like Moon, but with Stomare as Lev. He brought a delightfully cartoonish energy to the role, exactly what you'd expect from a cosmonaut stranded in space for so long. That said, our pick for the unsung hero is Will Fixner.
That took a turn.
Took a turn there.
Billy
So
Fick.
Billy Fick gets the first
Why
vote
not?
there. So we got a Will Patton, a Billy Fick, or 2 Will Pattons. So Will Patton's in the lead right now, 2-1 as we go to Ryan.
Whew, tough one. Because I could go like I get on board with Billy Fick. He's got great one-liners like talk about the wrong stuff.
Get off the nuclear
nuclear warhead. And like as the no-nonsense colonel who shows up halfway through the movie, once again, he doesn't have a lot of development. But when I think unsung hero, I think a little smaller, right?
I mean, I think in this movie, there's so many people. Anyone that's not like a lead will probably qualify. But if you want to go smaller,
I was thinking a little smaller because like there's the cabbie at the beginning is like, somebody could be a terrorist, shot, stabbed, somebody jumped, it's payday, someone probably didn't get their paycheck. And then the meteors start coming. He's like, wow, we at war. Saddam Hussein is bombing us.
I forgot about that guy.
Like, he's such a great throwaway character. Or like the pilot colonel that we already went over. Like, I'm going to flip you and I'm going to frack your body till your bones hurt. Like, once again,
I liked him.
Like, shows up for one scene, owns it. But you know what? This is the unsung hero.
Yeah.
Stanley Anderson as the president.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, during this presidential monologue is my personal favorite presidential monologue in any movie ever of all time. Yeah. And that's like no easy task because I think Bill Pullman really pulls it together at Independence Day.
No, that's what I was saying.
But
it rivals that one.
His one monologue pulls so much into this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going Stanley Anderson, unsung hero.
Respect.
Boom.
And here we've got Charlie Francois stepping in and saying Peter Stormare as Lev Andropov. Is that how you say it? I don't know. This is the second award I give Peter Stormare since I gave him the Will Patton in Constantine.
There you go.
The opposite of Billy Bob in this cartoonish story. Stormare is the only one that goes full Looney Tunes, and I loved him for that. And
so much hate for Billy Bob. I don't understand.
Yep.
He does.
Makes me sad.
All right, who's your unsung hero, Jen?
Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Lil Richard. His owner. His owner and the dog are just the best opening. Like that small scene. I just loved it.
Eddie Griffin. So Eddie Griffin and Little Richard.
Yep.
All right. I love that pick. That's our first animal vote since the horse in the villain. Yeah. All right. Mark Gussick comes in now and says John Mahone as Carl.
Oh yeah.
The way he just loses his shit when talking to his wife when he discovers the asteroid and wants to name it after her was amazing. I wish there was more of him in this movie. That's another good.
That's a good vote. Yeah.
The picture of him on
two scenes and
the picture of him online is so he's literally so young. It's like him in a suit.
Oh, is it for real?
Yeah, it's like
so
he looks like he's 20 years old in the picture that he has.
The only person with 2 votes is Will Patton, I think, so far, right? But part of the either benefit or curse of going last is somebody sometimes beats me to the punch, and I was also going with the President of the United States.
Whoa.
Stanley Anderson.
Awesome.
It absolutely nails it. One scene, one speech.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. So I'm happy to tie this up and go with the President here. And we'll see what old man Eglin here says. He says, another difficult award to give because this movie is packed full of great side characters. I'm going to give it to my favorite character actor, Billy Fichtner, with his second vote. Get off the nuclear warhead gets me every single time. If Fichtner is in, I'm watching. So we have a three-way tie. So who didn't go? Fichtner, Will Patton, or the President?
Stanley
and that's only you, which means you have to pick between...
give me the options again.
So it's the President of the United States and his speech.
Okay.
It's Billy Fichtner, the main astronaut's pulled the gun and was like, get off the nuclear warhead.
Colonel Sharp.
And then the third one is
Will Patton.
Will Patton. Yeah.
That's Chick Chapel.
I'm going to say Will Patton.
Whoa! Unexpected. Will Patton gets his first ever Steve James unsung hero. Yes. That's incredible.
Gotta love that.
I love how things work out sometimes.
Incredible. What a turn of events. Well, we have a BMR mountain that we have to climb up now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not often that we get a chance to do this, and we have an actor that's appeared in tons of movies. We're going to do a mountain for a few different people here. We are going to talk about first Bruce Willis, who is in his 4th BMR movie. And so we have to say, okay, which of his films has been peak Willis so far? Again, not which movie is the best, but his performance specifically. And we're looking at Hudson Hawk, The Fifth Element, Last Boy Scout, and now Armageddon. And so if you guys, and if you haven't seen them all and you want to abstain, you can abstain. But which of these 4 movies you think is his peak performance thus far?
As I've only seen 2.
All right, which ones have you seen?
I've seen The Fifth Element and Armageddon, obviously.
So out of those 2, I'm assuming you're going Armageddon.
I'm going Armageddon for sure.
You've seen them all?
I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I've seen them all. Honestly, his peak performance.
I think you can take Hudson Hawk out, probably.
You know the funny thing about Hudson Hawk is it's so left field for him.
Yeah. A good performance.
It is. It's a very outlandish performance for him, which is part of the reason why I like Hudson Hawk.
Yeah.
But
Last Boy Scout is like his quintessential burnt out
and that's
alcoholic.
exactly right. Like quintessential burnt out. Okay, yeah, whatever, John McClane knockoff type thing. But not to say it's not a great movie.
Corbin Dallas is another good part for him.
Corbin Dallas is a little different speck on his radar. But man, I don't know. Harry Stamper. He's such a cool character. He plays the immaturity of the character. He plays it. He plays the intensity of the character, the no nonsense. There's so many characteristics to Harry Stamper, and he just does it all. And
all right. So you go Armageddon 1.
Armageddon 1, probably the.
I'm not a big Corbin Dallas guy.
To be honest, if we're talking about performances, I might say Hudson Hawk is number 2.
It's a little too over the top for me. So,
is it?
But I would actually put Fifth Element last. So if it was me, and you can have your own ranking, I'll go Armageddon, Last Boy Scout is Joe Hallenbeck, then Hudson Hawk, then Corbin Dallas.
Yeah.
I think Corbin Dallas, that movie, he did great, but it's carried by Lilu.
Yes. The fifth element is.
Why can't I pull
Gary Oldman?
No.
Ian Holm.
Lilu's name.
Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich.
Yes. Right.
Man.
Fifth Element is not a Bruce Willis movie. He's on the cover, but it is Mila Jovovich's show. It is Gary Oldman's show.
Yeah.
And it is Luke Besson unhinged as a director. So
So you'd go Hudson Hawk second, then Last Boy Scout.
Yeah. Honestly,
Okay.
I might do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. There's our BMR rankings for Bruce Willis. But we've got to talk about Mr. Ben Affleck, and this is his 5th appearance. And when you get over 4, once you get to 4, 1 comes off. It's the Mount Rushmore. BMR Mountains, just like Mount Rushmore. Only 4 make it on the mountain. And so we've got him as Matt Murdock in Daredevil. We have him as Rudy Duncan in Reindeer Games, Batman in BVS, and himself and Holden McNeil as Jay and Silent Bob, which we just did last week, and now as AJ Frost in Armageddon. So what are you guys thinking? How many of those movies have you seen, Jenna?
I've heard of a lot of them. I've only seen Armageddon.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So Ryan, we got to parse this out. So which of these performances comes off the mountain
as the worst one
of these 5?
But here's the thing.
I don't think there's a bad performance on this list.
I want to say Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
For the sake of it's the only movie that he's really not like the main.
No. But his scene in Good Will Hunting 2 is incredible.
Right.
Yeah, I frosted the hair, but it looks good. I wasn't with the hooker today. But I think that's the one that's got to come off.
Yeah, because he's actually a big part of the other 4 movies.
I would say, for me, and you can give me your own, I think I would go Batman.
Yes. Number 1.
Yep. I really like him as Rudy Duncan. It's not a great movie.
No.
I go Batman, Rudy Duncan in Reindeer Games, AJ, Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think his Matt Murdock was great.
No, we all went through that his Matt Murdock was very missing the mark.
So do we have the same ranking?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that one.
Batman, Reindeer Games, Armageddon, Daredevil.
Yeah. And Reindeer Games being one of those kind of underrated movies in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
that's not the same order I'd put the movies in, but he's good in Reindeer Games.
He's very good in Reindeer Games. He doesn't he doesn't stand out as being bad, whereas Daredevil, he very much stood out as you are not meant to play Matt Murdock.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then now we also get to move on to Peter Stormare in his 4th appearance here. Skipping Jason Isaacs just because literally like Elektra and Resident Evil, he's not even really in those movies.
No.
Resident Evil, he's like, you don't even see his face. I don't think he's like in a
You
lab
see his
suit.
eyes.
His eyes or whatever.
He's in the mask and all that, yeah.
But Peter Stormare was in The Last Stand. He was the guy on the bus with Arnie. He was obviously Lucifer and Constantine. Dieter Stark as that psychopath in Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
and then now as Lev in Armageddon. So what order are we putting Peter Stormare's BMR Mountain in?
Constantine is tough because that's a
incredible performance.
I would say probably him as Lucifer is number one, Lev, and then I never saw The Last Stand, but
Okay. It's standard bad guy. I think that's fourth. I think that's easy fourth.
Easy fourth.
He was a scumbag in Lost World.
Yes.
For sure.
No, he's got the great lines like when he electrocutes the company and he's like, oh, he doesn't have any reason to fear man.
He deserved what he got in that movie.
It's exactly because he does. He zaps him with the thing. He's like, well, now he does.
Right.
Yeah, such an a-hole.
I think the hard thing to parse out in his ranking is whether you go Lev or Lucifer, because they're both just, as far as I'm concerned, iconic parts.
Yeah.
But Lucifer, even though it's one scene, is so good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to go Constantine, Armageddon, Lost World, Last Stand for Peter Stormare.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
There you go.
All right, guys, that is the BMR Mountain. And so now it's time for us to render our final verdicts.
Oh, boy.
How do we feel? I feel like I know how you two feel about Armageddon.
Oh,
Jenna,
I don't know.
not to tell you to skip anything she's going to say, but on the way here goes, I don't know yet if I like this movie or not. So she's got a little bit of time to make up her mind.
We probably sent her over the edge of not liking it.
I said, well, you know what? Sometimes when you feel that way, you've got to talk through the movie, and then that helps you figure it out.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see,
that's what I'm saying. We
see
shoved
what you
her
have to
right
say.
off that bad movie ledge.
Yeah. So here we go. Tyler's going to kick us off, and he says this movie doesn't make any sense, like at all.
Oh my god.
The graphics do not hold up very well. Time-wise, it really feels like it's all over the place. Even some cringy character moments. I feel like someone shot me up with some crack cocaine and ketamine to watch this 2.5-hour movie, and I freaking loved it. This might be a bad movie, but it's a bad movie in all the best ways, and it rules.
There you
So,
go.
So if you-
BMR.
If you shot up with crack cocaine and ketamine, did that just make you normal?
I think it just cancels each other
Because
out.
wouldn't they just have the opposite effect?
To quote Ethan Hawke in Assault on Precinct 13, you got to get up to get down.
There you go. There you go. Steph,
Okay.
give me your final thoughts on Armageddon.
Oh, well, I'm sure none of you could tell at all during this podcast that I absolutely love this movie.
No.
And no, I have been watching this movie since my parents let me, which I don't even know how young I was. I mean, it came out when I was 8, and I'm pretty sure I started watching it not very long after that. I've probably seen this movie like 15 times in my life. Like, I've seen it a lot. I love this movie so much. It has a nostalgic factor for me, and I think it's just a good movie, full stop.
Wow.
Plant
You're
my
all
like
in the bag.
good movie, full stop.
All right.
No one argue with me.
All right. Esteban Alonso says, this is one of those rare over-the-top action movies that just works. Flaws and all. Explosions, check. Slow motion hero shots, check. Dramatic close-ups of sweaty faces as they yell into radios. Yeah, a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of that. A lot of radio yelling.
Yep.
For all its chaos, Armageddon still hits emotionally. Bruce Willis sacrificing himself is brutal. The final farewell with Liv Tyler, gut punch. Billy Fichter's permission to shake the hand of the daughter of the bravest man I ever met. I can't believe I forgot to bring that up. That
Yeah.
gets me every
Does it?
time.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right
Every
before
time.
the
Colonel Sharpman requesting permission to shake the hand of the daughter of the bravest man I've ever met.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It is.
She kind of
It
stares
is.
at him for a minute, though.
Yeah.
She's like, weren't you the one holding the gun to my dad's head?
I think so.
But
It's a big, loud blockbuster that somehow still makes you feel and gave us a true movie ballad. I don't know a single person who saw this as a teenager and still can't belt out every damn word of I don't want to miss a thing. At the end of the day, it's the kind of film you can't help but love. It's pure, unfiltered Hollywood spectacle at its finest. This is a goddamn great frackin' movie, and we're out because we're leaving on a jet plane. He also gives a Hot Babe Award to Jessica Steen. Yeah, all right. Somebody likes Watts a lot.
There you go.
All right, Esteban, thanks for playing along, man.
so is that a good movie, full stop?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a great effing movie.
Oh, okay.
So
Fair enough.
1 BMR, 2 great movies, and Ryan Farrell is on the floor.
1998 was a
How much time do we have?
Since
Okay,
the dawn of time.
let's
Shut
start
up.
from the very beginning.
1998 was a huge year in cinema, right? As we discussed, and I'll tell you this. You know what the third best movie in 1998 was? Saving Private Ryan.
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
The third best?
The third best movie in
No.
1998 was Saving Private Ryan. You want to know what the second best movie was?
Shakespeare in Love?
Armageddon. No, that was the first best movie.
I know, it pissed me off. I almost stopped watching the Oscars after Saving
After
Private
Shakespeare
Ryan
in Love won Best Picture.
beat Saving Private Ryan. I was like, this is the end of
Yes.
the Oscars.
And the Truman
the
Show
end.
wasn't even nominated.
I know.
What a travesty.
Go ahead. Armageddon is better than Saving Private Ryan. I don't want to bury that nugget.
Yes. Third best movie, Saving Private Ryan. Second best movie, Armageddon. All right. I do not freaking care. Fight me on it. Steven Spielberg, best filmmaker of all time, whatever. World War II, okay. Oh, created one of the most visceral cinematic combat experiences of all time. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. All right. Armageddon was released at one point by the Criterion Collection. The Criterion Collection being a boutique DVD releaser of culturally significant classics, right? Quoting the Criterion Collection, despite what you may have heard, Armageddon is a work of art by a cutting-edge artist who is a master of movement, light, color, shape, also of chaos, razzle-dazzle, and explosion. You know what? This movie is literally 2.5 hours of insanity, unfiltered, unexpectorated insanity. This defined mayhem, right? Because The Rock is a great film, Bad Boys is a great film, but holy crap, Armageddon is one of my favorite films of all time.
I thought I liked this.
Hard landing on great movie, full stop, regardless of how stupid explosions in space are, regardless of why does someone have a Gatling gun on a drilling machine that's going to Mars. You know what? I don't care. I don't care. I remember the freaking standee at Tinseltown in 1998 that had the ticking clock on it. And this movie changed my freaking life. Great movie, full stop. Fight me.
Yeah, what he said.
Wrong. Better than Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, 100%.
That felt like a fever dream. That was great.
That might be one of the worst takes in movie history.
Nope.
Whoa.
Nope. On a Friday night, guess what? On a Friday night, if you're between Saving Private Ryan and Armageddon, I'm Armageddon it on every single time.
Oh my God. See, I
And I'm
thought
I'm getting out of here for that. I don't want to be anywhere
I
near
thought I
that.
loved this movie.
Yeah.
I've been one-upped.
Is this why there's so much chemistry between the two of you?
This was
is this the linchpin
Yeah,
of
it's
your marriage?
Armageddon.
Yeah,
Is
no,
Armageddon?
It
This was one of the
literally-
first movies we ever watched together. I'm pretty
So I don't want to get too personal,
Yeah.
but anytime things are feeling a little distant, you just throw on Armageddon.
Don't wanna
and
close
you guys
my eyes.
come back together again.
I
Exactly.
just put that song on and
Yep.
we instantly both just start weeping.
And we look at each other and we go, 800 feet. 800, Harry.
Okay.
I let you to drill 800 feet.
Okie dokie. Charlie Francois says, this has got to be one of the dumbest plots I have ever witnessed. I'm so happy that this is following yours. The initial premise wasn't too solid to begin with, but by the time these guys hit space, everything is bonkers. They could have fought aliens on the asteroid and I wouldn't have been surprised. Yes, Charlie.
Absolutely.
Also, one of the most unrealistic depictions of space ever. And Michael Bay has no chill. From start to end, it's just climax after climax. No time to breathe. No time for building any depth. There's New York City getting destroyed. There's panic on an oil rig. A training montage. Go to space. Panic at the space station. Stop in space for a minute. Nope. We're slingshotting around the moon now. Michael Bay, what are you doing with a nuke in space? But then there's not a second to get bored. It's jam-packed with ridiculous action and not a minute of useless expo is wasted. If there's a director's cut out there, it probably has just more explosions. Relentless for 2.5 hours, and the all-star cast just melds together to perfection like the butter melting on fresh toast. This makes it a top-notch bad movie that rules. If this movie had only taken itself a little less seriously, it would definitely have been good. I will watch this again a dozen times with friends, with my kids, with popcorn, with delight. I just have only one question for you Americans. Why you got to destroy the Eiffel Tower every time?
They destroyed New York initially.
I know, but Charlie's French. So according to my wife,
I couldn't tell by his last name.
that CGI scene
Francois.
cost $3 million to destroy Paris.
Yes.
So, all right.
And they only added it after Deep Impact came out.
Oh,
They
really?
And also-
yes. They added it to have like a tonal differentiation from Deep Impact.
Love it.
Yes.
And how are you going to complain about climax after climax after climax with no time to breathe?
I mean, depending on the context. Yeah.
How are you going to complain about that?
Charlie always brings it. Thank you, sir. Jenna, how do you feel about Armageddon?
I don't know. The thing that's hard is that I think it's a good movie. It's just not for me. So I am going to vote good movie, but I just don't think that I would watch it again.
Do you know what that's called? There's a rating on our show for that.
No, I don't think it's a bad movie.
No, it's a good movie that sucks.
Oh, okay, so good movie that sucks. Okay.
I love that Armageddon gets a good movie that
Because
sucks.
like the whole time I just felt like I was gonna like throw up. Like it's just
Yeah.
It is a very stressful
it's
movie.
hard to just watch it like a movie like that casually. Just like I don't know. Like
You're right.
You just have to watch it like 15 more times, and
Yeah,
then
there
you
you
can
go.
casually watch
I'm
it.
the type of person that will sit down on a Friday night and watch the Muppets or
Right.
like a musical or something. Like I
Right,
just,
right. You
that
wouldn't-
was too much.
By the time they had the space station blowing up, she was ready to
She's like, oh
be
my
done.
god.
See,
Yeah.
you wouldn't watch
And you
you
still
wouldn't
had,
watch
like, an
Saving
hour and
Private
a half
Ryan on a
left.
Friday night.
Yeah.
All right, Mark Gussick comes in and he goes, out of all the asteroid destruction movies that came out in 1998, this is my favorite. Deep
Wasn't
Impact.
it? There was only one other one,
There was
wasn't there?
two.
Oh, there was.
Deep Impact.
Dude.
More like Sleep Impact. That movie was boring. I'm glad I got to watch this instead. While most of the movie is ridiculous, it's still pretty fun to watch. I honestly haven't seen this in about 20 years, and I don't remember. Bruce Willis is great in the movie, even though he has a will or won't he slight Southern accent that he isn't sure he wants us to do. Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck aren't that great in this, but they do all right, I suppose. And the rest of the supporting cast is top notch from top to bottom. So my final rating is a good movie that sucks. Because even if there's no way in hell you're gonna bring oil drillers up to space, even with a gun, it's still entertaining as frick. I mean, I don't plan on watching it again anytime soon because that freaking song got played out so much, and I still can't stand hearing it. And this being an early Bay movie, it's kind of messy. God, 90s radio stations sucked ass. They did. They really just would play things over and over.
Yeah.
and
They
over
still
and
do.
over.
That's still the radio
Yeah.
stations now.
In lieu of the dog poop scale, I just want to congratulate you all up there. Thanks for the 200 BMR episodes and so many other shows and things you have done. I remember finding you on TikTok with Street Fighter, and I've never looked back. I look forward to many more years of endless entertainment. Thanks to the BMR crew. Everyone out there listening, come and join the Patreon to the best, worst movie podcast out there. Link is in the show notes. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that, man. Thanks,
the
Dad.
plug.
200
Appreciate
episodes.
you.
Yeah. All right. Old Man Eglin. Josh says, I've been waiting for this movie to be on this podcast since I listened to my first episode. It's the very definition of what I consider a bad movie that rules to be. It's stupid blockbuster fun that hits on every note. It has one of the best cast ever assembled. It's intense. It's awesome to watch visually. It's funny. It's sad. It's everything I want when I go pay for popcorn and a soda and sit in the dark theater for 2.5 hours. This is why I love movies. Armageddon is not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie that rules. It's not even a good movie. It's a great movie straight up.
Right on.
So it falls to me.
Oh
And
boy.
it's
We got
Do us
two bad
proud,
movies that
James.
sucks.
Yeah.
And then,
So there's 2 good movies that sucks. There's a handful of great movies straight up and a couple of bad movies that ruled. But at least no one has said that this is just a full stop crap movie.
Interesting.
and I'm worried.
And I don't know why that hasn't happened yet. Okay. Because there are tons of problems.
Don't you dare.
Oh, I dare.
Oh no.
I
you
dare.
quote this movie so much. You cannot.
I'm talking about the film objectively, okay? As a film, is a mess. And you, if strapped to a lie detector, would fully admit, I feel like, that this movie as a film is objectively a mess. anytime you've had anything written by 19 people and changes made on the fly and thrown out and new subplots added, taken out, it feels disjointed. It feels like a trailer for 2.5 hours. Dramatically speaking, you gotta have, like Charlie said, some room to breathe. It takes 2 days to get to the moon. They went to that space station and slingshot around that moon in 5 minutes.
I didn't even think about that.
All right. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's because it's such a good movie that you don't think about it.
Or just that I know nothing about space.
That's fair.
But here's what I'm a sucker for, and people that have listened know this. Quotable dialogue. And this movie has it in spades. Memorable quotes like crazy, which, as you said, I quote this movie all the time because it's really well done as far as, now it's not well written in a macro sense, you know what I mean? Like as a script as a whole, it's like a mess. But the individual moments kick so much ass that to me, it overcomes all of that nonsense. So objectively, I think it's a bad, rough movie. And I can even see where Ebert is coming from with some of his criticisms. And I certainly as hell would never say it's better than Saving Private Ryan. But enjoy what you enjoy, okay? And I don't mean that it maybe as condescending as that sounded. Literally enjoy if you enjoy it. But it's awesome. I think I said it's schlock at the highest tier, right?
Absolutely.
But it's still schlock. So bad movie that rules. Hard rules. For me.
Rules.
Okay.
Hard.
So that's where I'm going to land.
I accept
of
that.
of the highest order.
Yes.
That after 200 episodes, we might say that this could be
the quintessential
BMR
movies that rule.
Yeah.
Yep.
bad movie that rulest the hardest.
So saith myself.
So saith.
Yes. And so let it be written in the scrolls of Scannock or whatever they say in Conan the Barbarian. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Here as we stand, across the board, I think we had 3 BMRs, 3 great straight up, couple of good movies that sucks. I love it. I love how people are all over on this one.
It's
and
insane,
I love how much you guys love it. I want to love a movie as much as you guys love Armageddon.
I love Armageddon.
I don't know that do you guys love each other as much as you love Armageddon?
It's really the only reason we got married.
That's a good question. I mean, yes.
I've never seen either of you gush this much about the other one.
Not even on our wedding day when you were marrying.
I was going to say, and you wed us.
Right.
It was like, I vow to always watch Armageddon with you yearly.
There is an excitement, a vibrance, a fire in your eyes that was not present on your wedding day. Okay? I'm just saying.
It's how we get the mood going. We're like, come on, baby. Let's sit down. Let's put on Armageddon.
Right. We're not ready until the 18 days guy comes out and slams
18 days before it hits her.
Right.
Ooh. I got chills down my body.
Well, guys, I think it's time. And 200 episodes. I don't know what else to say about that other than it's we just keep showing up every week. So in one way, to me, it's not that impressive because it's more like we just don't want to go away.
We're like, you know what?
more or less,
I kind of have fun with this. We should just like keep doing that.
Just keep. But
the thing is that it's really just become our social life.
Yeah, and
more or less.
Yeah, I don't do anything else.
We don't do anything else
don't do
except for go to
anything
BMR podcast.
It is, but I also don't want to diminish. It is a big accomplishment considering that so many shows don't come anywhere near that.
1,000%.
And thank you guys you've been here pretty much since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Since episode 30.
Episode 30.
Deep Blue Sea.
That's right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what episode Tremors was.
I don't know.
That was my first one.
But the two of you came out a little bit later than that. But it's still, I'm glad, part of me was like, man, should we try and do what we did for the 150? We got like 6 people in here and do all this extra stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I kind of just want to treat this like it's any other episode to a certain extent because Armageddon deserves that, and I didn't want it to turn into a whole kind of crazy thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm
this
surprised
has been
no
awesome.
one's at the kids' table today.
Yeah, me too.
I thought Mueller was going to be here.
Me too. But you know what? It's fine because this was the 4 of us that needed to be here for Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
Got the new blood.
That's right.
The new blood, the new take on it.
We get Gen Z's
like,
take on Armageddon.
The Gen
I'm
Z.
not on Armageddon. I quit.
Yeah.
We got the Gen Z take on it. Yep, exactly. We
So
didn't have.
if you wanted to force me out of the podcast, James, you could have just not put me on Armageddon, and then I would have been like, you know what? I'm done. You would have been like, good. That was my plan.
So here's the $1 million question. What are we doing for 250?
Oh boy.
Because we did 150. We announced right there on the spot that we were going to do Armageddon.
Oh no. Okay.
Right?
That's true.
but we have not
This
yet
was planned a year in advance.
announced what 250 is going to be.
Have you done it? We've done Independence Day Resurgence, haven't we?
We have not.
That would be a
have
good
not.
one.
Independence Day Resurgence.
The second one?
Yes.
Blech.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But, James,
Yes.
does the first Independence Day qualify?
It does not qualify.
Really?
No, you have to be a GMR. So,
Even though back in the day, it was a mixed.
yeah.
It was a mixed reception when it first came out.
I think people might riot if we do Independence Day on
you know.
BMR. So we'll see. I mean, I have my favorites that I've been looking forward to doing, like Tommy Boy,
Yes.
like A Knight's Tale. I don't know if any of those are big enough for the 250th
Right.
episode. So this might have to be something where
Wait a minute.
we don't announce it or we just kind of let it ride and see,
What about
unless you have an idea.
Rocky 4?
Two worlds collide.
Rival nations. It's a primitive clash.
Gets our freedoms up against the ropes. All right. That's kind of that idea kind of slaps, as the Gen Zers like to say.
I don't say that.
That idea is fire.
That
It's
is
fire.
Gen Alpha.
It's bussin'.
That's
all right?
that idea
Nope.
is bussin'.
Yeah.
That's Gen Alpha.
It's gas, right?
You know what I don't understand these days? Why is it when you're trying to match someone up, it's called shipping?
Yeah.
I don't-
Relationship.
Is that what it's? Oh my God.
Wow.
So stupid.
I think I use that term more so when it's people I don't know, like celebrities or
Yeah.
things like
That
that.
is-
Dude,
I ship them.
If
I don't-
only they knew that, like back in the 90s, shipping meant that you killed someone.
Yeah. I know. They don't know.
What?
Yes.
I think they made up words.
No. Guess what, Gen
words.
Alpha?
Yeah.
In 1995, if you shipped someone, it means you murdered them and
Yeah.
disposed of their body.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
No.
keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind
go.
when you come up with your lingo.
You know what? I don't care if that's not a big enough movie. I love that idea. So
Rocky 4?
we're doing Rocky 4 episode 250.
Oh no, that was the biggest movie of 85.
Bro, I love that movie.
I mean,
Bob loves that movie.
Yes.
We got to get somebody in here who's never seen it before. And no context. Don't watch the first three.
don't watch the first 3.
I've actually seen that one, I think, but
That's where he fights the Russian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have not seen
Gosh,
that.
it is, and it's such
just-
a stray bullet in the Rocky franchise.
Oh boy, I'm imagining being here with you,
Yes.
Bob, and him
Yes.
on that episode. That's going to be another Varsity Blues issue.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'll stop short of locking it in stone here. I'll say we'll do it for 250, but I reserve the right to change my mind if some other idea tickles my fancy a little bit better.
You're right,
before we
James.
get there. Okay.
But if I could change, and you could change, everybody could change.
I noticed around here people have been doing a lot of changing.
A lot of changing during the fight. A lot of changing.
That's right.
You know.
Oh boy.
We'll see. All right. But on that note, next week, guys, coming up, we have Airheads.
Ooh.
The SNL alum. I got Adam Sandler. Back-to-back weeks of Steve Buscemi in here, who's in Airheads, along with Brendan Fraser and Chris Farley's
Chris
in that
Farley.
movie.
Boy.
Gosh, that's
Ernie Hudson's back again.
Ernie
He
Hudson,
was just in
yep.
No Escape a few weeks ago.
Man,
So
who's
gonna
the
be a fun
ponytail
one.
guy? There's the guy with the ponytail too.
Oh, I don't remember. Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
His name's Joe. Can't remember his last name.
Montenegro?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, but
Mama.
not gonna work here anymore. Anyway, we're gonna come in next week and we're gonna do Airheads, which the patrons voted on. So
That's awesome.
Thank you guys for being here for Armageddon. Thank you to Stephanie.
Thank you for
Farrell.
having me.
Thank you to Ryan Farrell, and thank you, Jenna.
Thank you.
I'm
Yep.
also happy that you're here. And you know what else we did? We set a record. And I've been slow rolling these exits because we just passed 2 hours and 56 minutes
I was
on
gonna
this
say,
raw cut.
I'm looking at the time. I'm like, man, it's been like
And-
3 hours.
253 on the raw cut for Lost World was our previous record. We've passed that by 3 minutes. So
Oh,
thank you
my
guys.
God.
It's not only the 200th, it's our longest one ever. We'll catch you on the next one.
Don't want to close my eyes.
I'm ready to go asleep, bro.
Come together right now over me.
Bow, bow. I'm tired. 200 episodes really took a lot out of me. I got to take a nap.
Yeah, and we did that all in one day. It's crazy.
right.
You've been here the whole time.
Yeah, you never left.
Single one of them.
Every one of them.
That's crazy.
I need a rest.
Yeah, you just have to keep renting new places.
That's all it is. Oh. No nukes. No nukes. No nukes.
Get off the nuclear warhead.
I can handle another 200 episodes. I don't know if I can handle doing it with you guys, but I can handle another 200.